My dad was kind of like a bigger than life figure, like everyone knew him everywhere we went. Some were maybe afraid of him, some
Oh.
were respected
Oh,
of him,
okay.
some were, it's like it's a different world.
Her name is Trish, she's got the dish and all the gossip's filthy rich, pretty and pink, hot topic queen, and says what everybody thinks. She's just Trish.
Hey guys, welcome back to our special episode for Father's Day, the number one father in the whole world, Moses Hacmon. Did I say your last name right?
I'll keep changing it over the so,
Yes, I don't know our last name. We are married and I have no idea because I know I pronounce it wrong every time.
it's just not something we say. We don't use it. It's like,
We are the Paytas Hackman family. Yeah. We're both thinking about getting it hyphenated because we are married. And when we go to hotels, it's like, especially the hospital, we just gave birth to our second daughter and they just had Paytas in there because that's what I was registered under. But I was like, but it's a Paytas Hackman baby.
right.
And it was sad to see not that because we're married and it took me so long to find a husband with
When
to
they
get a last name.
came to do the birth certificate, we put it in there and everything. But yeah, if you check in on your own, that's your name. So that's what they...
Hotels are like that too. And I'm just like...
Many times people call me Mr. Paytas.
Mr. Pay. It's very... A Star is Born. Is that the movie? Did you watch that movie with me, Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper?
Yes.
Is it called A Star is Born?
Something with star.
They did that in the 50s too. With Liza, I think Liza Minnelli was in it. And that's literally the reason the guy ends up driving off a cliff in the original one is because they call him by the woman's last name. That was in the 50s. They changed it a little bit in the new one. That didn't set him off that much. But in the 50s, he's like, I can't be known as that. Isn't that crazy how people take it so to heart?
Yeah, people are not about women back then.
Yeah, I like how you don't care.
No, because what matter? Like, it doesn't matter. How somebody calls me and when, and especially if we're like in a hotel or that kind of situation.
Yeah.
It's more incognito, people usually use.
Hackman. I should actually use it, but sometimes it's nice too because when we get in, then there's like special stuff for the kids because they recognize the Paytas names, so which is so weird to say. But shout out to all the fancy hotels that do that. They always provide little goodies for us.
Especially for the kids. It's so sweet.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Is like for them, like they always do something extravagant.
Yeah, a little gift.
We love our staycations. If you're in Southern California in a fancy hotel and want us to come, or any in California, we're very in our driving era because we haven't flown yet with Malibu. And it just seems like a lot with kids. I know people do it, but now we have 2 strollers, bottles, car seats. Seems like a lot.
Yeah, it is and it isn't. But I think it's more disease and things like that. Like it's a bigger level of travel. Like in our car, we're contained. On an airplane, if somebody's coughing, then, good luck.
Right. Maybe we'll get an RV too. We thought about that for like going to New York or something this fall. Anyways.
We're taking Just Trish on tour across the country.
That's a lot of illnesses, I feel, just coming in contact with people. But this episode we have our special guest is Moses, but also I think you're like a co-host today.
Yeah, I don't think I'm the special guest. I think you're the special guest.
You're the special guest. It's Father's Day.
But you just gave birth to the baby that makes me a father.
Yeah, but you do everything else, babe. You really we went for our first walk as a family yesterday, and it's really, we could walk from our house, but like there's like a main street, and I like to go to like the back streets where it's like safer and not so much traffic. And Moses loads everyone up and all the strollers and the car seats, and I can't really lift right now, so you got to lift every baby out, and it's just, it's
not a big deal. It's just normal day.
I could feel it yesterday. I knew you were tired. I was like, ooh, I'm like so sorry, but it was.
Well, it's because that one time I actually fell asleep and took a nap. That's why.
Oh, right. Moses doesn't like naps. You did. I wanted to let you rest. I was so happy. I was like, oh, he's sleeping, but I know you don't like him, so.
It's fine. It worked out. I mean, I enjoy the walks, just being outside, the trees, the air, the birds, flowers. It's like spring.
Malibu really liked it too. She was
just singing, sitting in her stroller and singing the whole way.
Totally fine. Like that was, we didn't know, because she's so much older now, but she was loving it. It was nice. I love going for our walks. I feel more meditative. I feel more like grounded. I feel healthier already.
It's a time we usually manifest our walks
that is true. We actually
together.
do.
Yeah.
So we are parents of 2. You look like a dad. Also, the glasses are amazing. You said you were wearing them to see the monitor, or not the monitor, but the audio over there. But they look so good on you. I know you wore them to drive too. Moses got new glasses. They look
Thank
so
you for
good.
helping me pick them because I was lost. I was like, nothing looked good.
So Father's Day, we just did a Father's Day photo shoot, which was actually really good. Malibu ended up like, usually in the past she's like not about the photos, but she kind of hyped up.
I have a feeling she's more about the videos. Because she was
Entertaining.
like dancing and singing and spinning, and she's more about, yeah, like doing like choreography and
Right. When my mom came back in, I was like, okay, show Mimi what you just did. Because she wanted to show the photographer, but then Mimi, and she's like just spinning. And yeah, it was really fun. It was really cute. And I love the ones of you guys together. I thought it was so cute. There's certain moments, you capture them so quickly, but where Malibu can just like lean on Moses or like give him a little hug from behind. And it's just like the sweetest thing in the world. And then she like goes and runs off and be crazy. But
yeah, she's very aware of the camera. She's aware of like she doesn't make it easy because she's like, my time is valuable. I'm gonna give you snippets here and there. This is not cheap. It's not just you show up and take as much as you want.
right.
And she's very aware.
She's
It's
like,
it's
you
quite
get one
amazing.
shot.
Yeah, and
like that.
we don't even take a lot of pictures or film a lot, but it's just she's so smart and aware of everything that's happening, and she knows as a photographer, she knows what's happening. She's like, okay, I'm gonna make you work for this.
Yeah. She's so cute. She's really the cutest. I love it. And she loves pictures just when there's not a photographer. Every morning she says, Mama cheese. And that means get your camera out. If we're at a restaurant, Mama cheese, get the camera out. So it's actually, I have thousands of pictures of her probably of just her cheesing for the camera. It's really cute. So happy Father's Day. Wait, first I feel
Thank
like I
you.
should give you a gift. I feel
What do
like
you
I
mean?
should give you a gift because you always give me gifts.
What?
I don't know if this is going to be good, but we'll see. I want you to, it's something for now. So I want you to open it.
Oh,
you want me to hold your
wow.
microphone? Oh, you
Let's
got
see.
it. Oh,
I'm,
wow.
I'm
Look
used
at
to doing
you.
everything with one hand.
We're matching, by the way. I had too much cleavage as a mom now, so that's why I couldn't find my
Me
bandeau.
too. I had.
We're matching really perfect, actually.
Yeah, and I don't know why you say you can't style. Like, this is a very
Putting a bandeau underneath a
serious-
dress.
no, but matching just a little bit of black under the pink. And
Yeah, well, I didn't really have a choice.
what is that? I'm already feeling bad.
What? No, don't feel bad.
You know me in gifts. Oh wow. Oh wait a minute. There's Malibu and Elvis on this. So there's two links like, and it says Malibu and Elvis.
That is kind of a masculine bracelet. I know you don't wear jewelry a lot, but when we do dress up, I wear my jewelry. I feel like that's when you do wear jewelry. Because we don't wear it on the daily, but Can we help you? Okay. I just thought this was like, it looked kind of like masculine and it has their names. And I know you won't wear it like every day, but I think it's cute for like, yeah. Should have given it each day before our Father's Day shoot.
I feel like I'm getting in my Ted Nefesin era.
Oh my God, you kind of are with the glasses and the jewelry. It's very, everyone's doing it though. Oscar's doing it. Everyone's on that Ted
It's
jewelry.
cool. I like the font and the whole thing.
Let me see the font. I didn't see. Oh, yeah, that's cool. It's so hard to find gifts for you, but I thought it's just, when we I don't know, dress up, wear a bracelet or something. You had a chain on the other day and you looked really good and you never wear chains. And I was like, oh, that looks so good on you. And so
Yeah, that was another Elvis chain. So
you look cool. I like it. I think it's giving you.
thank you.
So happy Father's Day, your first Father's Day
Thank
too.
you.
By the way, if I like to match Moses' calmness because I feel like when you're my guest, it's just like calm energy and
Yeah, we're not here to be like all
I love being excited for
bubbly
guests.
and hyped.
Well, I'm always excited for you. As we found out from Hot Topics 2 weeks ago, you are my celebrity crush always and forever now.
Yeah, that's my biggest gift for Father's Day.
It's so great. It's so wonderful. I've dreamed about you so much. So it's almost nightly, these like amazing dreams and
Because I always dream about us, but it's like we're doing projects, we're filming, we're going places.
it's stuff you like. And mine's all fantasy. Mine's Bridgerton and West Side Story and you're fighting for me. And it's really cute.
Well, that's true.
So you're a father of two.
And no, so I want to talk about you giving birth. The most
Okay.
amazing. Yeah, I mean, it was
But it's about you. I feel like we should.
right, but there's a
Okay,
reason
okay,
I'm a
okay.
father. Like, I'm not just
Okay.
suddenly,
we can talk about the
suddenly I
birth
showed
first.
up and I'm a father.
Babe.
Yeah.
You did a lot of the work, let me
There's
tell
an
you.
order.
I've only been blessed with children because of you, and
It is amazing that how it all happened. Like, pretty much like on the night of our wedding.
and
I
the night of
think-
Don Yasmin. Well, it's true because it's like it was hard for me to get pregnant. I never thought I would. I never have before. Like I said, it's kind of new now to think of like birth control because like never in my life have I thought about that because I just always wanted a baby and it never happened. And now I'm like, oh my God, it's like weird to like not try for a baby.
I know. I don't even know how to like go about that because it was always that excitement and that,
It's gonna hit
trying
this
your
time.
best, finding the right spot and
The intention behind it. It is weird. It's like such a weird thing. I don't know. And well, I don't know. Anyways, it can feel like
well,
we're
maybe the
kids.
shift of the intention is more towards each other
Right.
than the
The baby.
yeah, because that was like almost diverting from each other. It was more there's a goal. We gotta meet the goal,
That's a good point.
and the goal was not you enjoying it, me enjoying it. The goal was
Yeah.
like we
Just
need
get
to
it done.
No, but to get it like in a very I don't know. It's like to
Specific
me, I felt like
time.
it's very physical. It's like there's a place I have to.
Oh, really? You did say that.
Yeah,
like,
because I
yeah.
feel like because especially after the first time, because I knew the first time when it happened. I knew I was like, this was the moment. Yeah.
Wow, that's true. And I also think there's a lot to be said about that too. It's like more just like when we're dating and just doing it for passion and fun.
Yeah, so you're more relaxed and
Yeah.
you're more you take your time and you can I don't know.
That's true because we had Malibu and we were trying almost pretty much right away within like 3 months, and it was mainly because we wanted them close in age, but also our age and stuff like that, and just keeping them in the diaper stage and everything. But now it's like seeing Malibu at the age she is. Once Elvis gets there, it's gonna be like, oh my god, we could travel the world, because Malibu is just so independent, I guess you could say. Like she's just so like walks and puts her shoes on and all that stuff. So when Elvis gets that stage, it'd be like weird to like start all over again because it'd just be another delay to go do. I mean, it's fine. Honestly, I really do believe in like God's timing. I mean, if like he wants us to have 3 or 4 kids, I mean, I guess that'll happen. But I feel like
Yeah.
2 is good. But yeah, it'll be cool. We'll be back to our like dating phase, I guess, where it's just like
Yeah, and just for us.
just fun. Anyways, that was probably way more information on how we.
No, there's not information. I mean, it's really the simplicity of intention.
Yeah,
But
it's a beautiful thing.
I don't know. So back to
We just gave birth 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
yeah, and you were. I mean, it was crazy because it felt long because we felt like it's about to happen every day now for a month. Like we're kind of like
Yes.
ready to go, and this time it was much harder on you physically.
We filmed our last guest episode April 30th because I was like, May it's gonna be like I
Yeah,
thought
we
May
thought first
1st.
week of May.
May
Yeah.
1st through the 8th for sure. When Mother's Day was coming around, I'm like, do I even book a Mother's Day thing? Because I'm pretty sure I'll have this baby.
Or anywhere we go, like if we're going too far from the house, like
Oh,
what if
yeah.
it's gonna happen to that? Or I wouldn't drive anywhere that's more than like half hour because if it happens and I'm like an hour away and I'm like, no way, I'm not there at the moment. So
I
I
was
was
on-
take you to the hospital or
Yeah, I think I was like bed rest for really. I would do the podcast and then literally just go sleep in bed because I was like I was so tired. So everything felt heavy, like everything. I don't know if it's age or just second baby's harder. I don't know what it was, but I was just.
I
had
hear
no
second
energy.
baby is harder, but it makes sense too because your body also didn't fully recover. They say it takes like 2 years to fully recover.
That's true from C-section.
So, and the pregnancy itself. I mean, the
Yeah.
baby, your body's producing a baby. It's taking so much nutrition and so much stuff from your body. And I think when Malibu was born, I think that was also traumatic for the body because you were like going through contractions, pushing for so many hours, and then a surgery on top of that.
Yeah, it took really a long time to recover. And like mentally, so far, I mean, we're only 3 weeks in, but like mentally, I was so not good after Malibu. Like, it was a bigger adjustment for me, I think, Malibu, than having
Yeah.
Elvis.
So here, the time before the birth was harder, but so what I was trying to say is we went to the scheduled, it happened on the day, luckily, and we went to the scheduled C-section, and you were so, brave, and you weren't scared, you weren't, or at least, I mean, a little bit, but you weren't like, you just walked in, checked in, and we went through everything, and I tell you, like, I sit there and I'm like feeling the pain, like every time that they poke you with a needle, every time that
You
they
hate it.
take blood or something, I felt it in my body, like every time.
Oh,
And
That's
because you go
crazy.
through so much, like really, that's what's so amazing is like the sacrifice that a woman does as far as her body. So it's not only producing the baby that's a sacrifice, going through that process, going through surgery, and that's scary. It's like, how are you going to come out on the other side of that? Everything's going to be okay. There's so much to, and now we have 2. There's the baby that needs to be okay, and the mother needs to be okay. So that's what I was saying on the caption and everything.
it was a beautiful caption.
Like I just really was waiting to see the 2 of you together, happy, healthy, and recovered and everything. Because it's it's like it's something you don't want to jeopardize or risk in any way. like I wanted you to come back the way you went in,
Yeah.
healthy and happy and everything, and the baby to come out healthy and everything.
It does feel like
It's
that. I felt the only fear I kind of had was just like, oh man, I feel like we're risking it again, which is like worth it to have a baby and it's wonderful to have a baby. But that's another reason why I feel like two is good because I'm like, okay, we've gone through two, healthy, happy, perfect. And it's like, it is always a risk. I mean, there's always a risk for any sort of birthing
yeah.
and
I mean, every baby is luck of the draw. Like it's gambling every time.
yeah.
What is the baby going to be healthy? Is the process going to be okay? Like, and then when they're born, what type of a baby it is, and what's it's going to be like. And my mother said, like, and she keeps saying that. She was like, God blessed you guys because your children are so calm and happy. And she said, like, there's nothing else you can ask for because having a baby that cries all the time or has so many babies have difficulties, and different pains and they don't communicate. And I just know that when any of them cry for a second, it's something kind of like probably we're programmed to react to their cry a certain way. Like it's like it's pain. It's like somebody is like hurting you. Their cry hurts us.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't basically ignore
Oh.
it or even like you identify it. Like it's a cry. You hear a cry and there's a lot of people around. You'll know it's your baby because it's just like your body goes into a mode of like reacting to it a certain way. So not to have that, it's a big blessing, and our babies are just they're just calm and content and happy, and we're just blessed to have those moments with them. They're just laying on us, sleeping, eating, like everything. I don't know.
I know. We've been really blessed and that's why I'm like, okay, I think I'm good, because I mean, yeah.
It could totally happen. I can see how everybody says we're done, and the third one shows up.
Yeah.
We're open to that.
Yeah.
If it happens, it's like not, and even more than that, it means it meant to happen.
Right. If you're really not
'Cause,
trying.
yeah, then
You're
it
taking
meant-
all the measures.
So there's no, if baby number 3 looking back at this, we're
You're
cool
just
with
as
you.
loved. You might be the more chosen one because you just
Yeah,
came without
because
us intending.
You were
but
placed in there, not by us, but divine intervention.
yeah, for sure. That's actually so funny. No, pregnancy is like illegal sacrifice. It is, but like it is also just like a blessing. Like so many people can't get pregnant, like me for so long too. And it's like, and to have Carrie to term and all that. It's the best thing ever. I mean, I 10 out of 10 recommend being pregnant if you are thinking about it. But also
Yeah,
with the
and then you gave birth, the baby was fine, and and the next day you're like, I'm ready to go home.
3 a.m. I'm like, I'm telling this nurse I'm ready. She's like, can you get up? I'm like, yep. Boop.
The nurse had a plan for the next 3 days for you to recover.
She's like, we're gonna try to walk.
You just bounced back so fast, so strong, and it was kind of incredible to watch and admire. I don't know.
Oh, thanks.
I don't know how you do it, but you are one of the strongest people I know. And then, and then to see you with Elvis and just so much, I know, like the whole family changed once Elvis came in. Because it's almost like there was a piece missing in the puzzle.
I
And
feel
once Elvis showed up, everyone changed and everything set into place. And, it's like Malibu is like in love with you and attached to you. Elvis is in love with you. We're more in love than ever. Like everything kind of shifted, and it just feels like being together, all 4 of us.
Yeah,
is the best time.
it really is. It's I always think that too. I'm like, God, it was like this like magical thing happened where it was like, yeah, all of a sudden we're all more like a unit, I guess, because obviously with the pregnancy, I wasn't like doing any activities with you guys. I wasn't going to the gym class. I was sleeping a lot. And so I felt more of a part. And even with the Malibu as a baby, I relied on you so heavily because you were so natural. So I was like, okay, you could just do everything. And I feel like this time, because we have Malibu too, it's like it's balanced now, and I like to do it. I love holding Elvis, whereas like Malibu, I was just like so scared. And like now it's like, but because of that, I'm closer with Malibu. I feel more confident. I feel like, and yeah, we just all, and definitely with you, I always say this. I'm like, I don't know what it was. The day we gave birth, I was just like, I love you. I'm like, more than ever. And I look at you in such a different light, and I don't know. It's so weird. So it was great. We changed a lot with Malibu, but Elvis definitely just, I feel like, wrapped it up full circle.
Yeah.
And it was nice. And for Malibu too, she's just so sweet and so funny, like giggling nonstop. Like I don't think she's laughed ever this much in her whole life. Like she's just giggly all the time.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that was really had to pay a lot of attention to is her whole world changed, and to make it the change in a way that's is positive change. Because you can see it, you can see how the smallest thing, and especially at her age now, it's a lot of like she can't regulate emotions yet,
Right.
so it's even more extreme because she can go to a place where she's very, let's say if something upsetting her, she can get very upset, but if you're not there at the right state of mind, calm and collected, and to kind of quickly bring her back, it's almost like triggering a person. You can trigger her more, right?
For sure.
She's in a place where you can trigger her to go further and further into being upset, rather than just show her like everything's fine,
Yeah.
everything's okay. You maybe you can't have this now, but you can have that. So kind of shifting where her attention is. So we had to do so much work with her, just which means spending a lot of time with her, just giving her more attention and more love, and showing her that the baby that joined the family is like it's for her.
Yeah.
Like we wanted her to have a best friend. And I feel like she's already starting to feel that. There's somebody at the house other than mom and dad,
Right.
and something to.
And beyond us, when, we're gone, they have their person, their
Yeah.
family,
And she loves singing and dancing and all, and she's very, she's a good boss, she's a good manager. So once she'll have a little sister too.
Baby, sit down.
Okay, you stand here, you do this, I'm gonna dance here.
Yeah, but that's the best part. I loved having a little sister for that reason. I was the older sister, and it was so much fun. And the little sister like looks up. I talked to my sister about it. Like she looks up to you, and then the older sister gets to just tell her like, okay, you're gonna win, you're gonna lose, I'm gonna win this time, you're gonna do this. Like, and it's
Right,
but it's a
the
good
whole-
dynamic because little sister wants to do it, and the big sister wants to be bossy, and it's just like I think a good dynamic for the most part. But yeah, it's really fun just to see them together, and it's only 3 weeks in, but
Yeah, Malibu already gives her kisses, things. She wants to hold
Yeah.
her. She's not opposing to her being in the space or being, like.
No, not like for the first day, kind of. Sometimes she'd be like, no, baby. But that was like literally lasted like 2 days, which we're lucky because I think it can take longer for people to.
Well, like I said, we did a lot of work to make it easy for her, and we immediately brought all the reinforcement, grandparents,
Yeah, we got
siblings.
lucky
We brought everyone we can
to play with
to
her.
just spend time with her, play with her, and she just felt like again, she felt like good, something like there's a positive change.
More people are coming to play with her
like
and spend time
there's
with her.
more good things happening, more people coming for her, more.
Yeah.
So the change felt positive because it was hard to be in the hospital away from her. That's the only reason we wanted to go back so fast.
Yeah, we were just there for I guess like 24 hours basically. 5:30 we got there and we left maybe at like noon, so like a little over 24 hours. And same, yeah, I was up at like 3 a.m. because I just was like, or 2 a.m. I was just like, checking the cameras and stuff. Obviously, she's like with my mom and stuff, but it was just like, I don't know. I just want to make sure she was okay. And obviously she was, but I think, and obviously they don't remember at 1.5, but I just know like she's never been away from us. And like I said in my C-section video, we're such a close family. We're like together all the time, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, 24 hours. Like the only time we're not together is doing a podcast for a few hours. And so I think because when we're lucky, we get to be together all the time. Malibu sleeps right in the middle of us. And I think it was, probably she's smart. Like you said, she's smart. So she knew something. And even when we came back, she was kind of like, where happened? Because we'll leave for some time, like a couple hours, but not that long.
Yeah,
But
that was the longest.
it was beautiful. I loved my hospital stay. Like I was saying in my video, like it was beautiful.
Yeah.
We spent time together because we had
No,
nothing else to do.
We would have stayed longer for you, just to feel, that everything's fine with you, and for safety reasons.
Yeah.
After the surgery, but it was because we started to think, well, maybe I'll go home and spend
Pick up
an hour
Malcolm.
with her, but your sister will come over. Like all of these puzzle pieces to
Because you
move
didn't want to leave
around.
me, but I also didn't want her to be without you.
Yeah, because there's no
So
way I'm leaving you alone in the hospital with the baby, because it's like,
yeah,
it's insane. As long as you're at the hospital, you're not in control of your body or your baby.
yeah,
So and you have to be very stern and very strong to say no to certain things, and sometimes to just, because otherwise it feels, it's very quickly, you always get bullied into
yeah. And I'm the worst at saying no.
doing things.
I would for my
And
baby,
whether it's
but
like extra tests that they don't need, everything comes down to poking, right? More blood, more poking of the baby, more blood, more poking of the mom. And at some point, you just say no. You
we
just
said
like,
no twice, remember? And they still try to convince us for some test, I don't know, that wasn't
Yeah.
required. And then they really pushed, two people kind of pushed, like, you really should do this. And we're like, we really don't want to.
yeah. And this time we just stood our ground and got out of there as soon as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, it was.
Because I don't know if you know, the baby has an ankle bracelet, like just like prisoners. Like you can't leave the hospital with your baby.
I guess it's good.
they-
Then they're not, like, no one's taking your baby.
Sure, but
like
that
safety.
includes you. So it's
Right.
like,
Yeah, once they take that off, right, they're like,
that's
okay.
the last thing they do after everything is.
They're like, don't even use the restroom or anything. I'm like, okay, kind of
Yeah.
scary. I was like, but obviously, yeah. Yeah, so it was, I liked this experience in the hospital this time. It's just, I felt guilty because Malibu wasn't with us, and I loved spending time with just you and Elvis. But then I'm like, if Malibu was here, it'd be perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we got to talk for a while, and it was lovely and beautiful. And
Yeah, gotta do it again.
yeah, we'll see. Never say never. But did you always think that you would be a father?
I always wanted to be a father.
Did you?
There were moments where I thought I probably won't be because I was just not heading that way.
What era of your life was that? What era did you want to be a dad? Were you like a young
The younger I
kid?
was, the more I wanted to be a dad.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you see yourself as a young dad? Like, you're like, I would love to have kids as soon as possible if I found the right woman?
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, I saw myself as a young mom too. I always thought like
Probably.
22, 23 is like when I really wanted to like just have a baby so bad. I remember just feeling the urge to. That wasn't even, I guess I was in love, but you know what I mean? Like, I guess that, but so you wanted to at a young age. It just was not the right, because you had girlfriends. You had like girlfriends when you were young and stuff. So it just wasn't the
Yeah,
right.
but not. Well, I think that was always my gauge was always, do I see this person as the mother of my children?
Really?
That was always my gauge. So
Even in your
many
20s?
times- Yeah, always. That was always in my mind. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So what if you didn't? Did you still date? Like, everyone you dated, were you like, I could see this person?
No, that's why we didn't.
You would just end it?
Yeah.
I don't even know. This is just my chance now to grill you. I don't even know your longest relationship. I don't think. Moses never talks about his relationships past, which is like kind of, I guess, everyone's dream, right? Like, who wants to talk about past relationships? But usually you do to some degree. But you never do, which I don't mind. I don't really mind. But sometimes I'm like, well, I want to know.
Well, I think people that talk about past relationships, they're not resolved, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just not resolved for them. For me, there's nothing not resolved because that the resolution was not being with that person. And I guess maybe because I ended most relationships, so it's easier for me to be on the side that doesn't think about it. But I don't know.
You never ever do. So what was your longest relationship before? Like a year, 2 years, 5 years? I have no idea.
I don't think anything was as long as 5 years, but probably 1 or 2 year.
Okay, that's not really that long because me too. Mine never were past a year. But you know, people get in like 5-year relationships and then end. And then to me, not that it's a red flag for you guys or anything, but I always think that's like a red flag, right? You're with someone like for 7 years. And then I always ask people, I'm like, what happened, right? And they'll be like, I just fell out of love. And to me, that's like the scariest thing ever. I'm like, how do you, I get breaking up for like abusive reasons, like so many reasons, right? But cheating. But like for people to just be like, I just fell out of love. I heard that like from like 2 different people that I knew. They were like in relationships for 10 years and like, I just didn't love that person anymore. And I was like, that to me is the scariest thing because people do change and feelings change. And, you know, I talked about this too. Like having a baby can change you, right? Like we haven't slept next to each other in like 2 years, you know, to go to bed. And it just changes things. But it's like you stop loving the person. Like it's crazy to me. It's such a wild thing.
Yeah, I think relationships that I had were more like you build something up and then I would get to a point of like, okay, we need to take the next step. And do I take that step or not? And most times it was no. So like the next step usually would be, okay, should we move in together or stuff like that?
Yeah.
And then I would realized that no, that's not the right step to take. So
Right. So you want to be a dad from like a young age, and it just wasn't working out. And then what age were you like, maybe this isn't going to work out? Because I felt that too, but I was like I was about like, I was right before I met you, maybe like 31. I thought maybe it won't be for me.
I think probably in my early 30s, I think most people go through that crisis when basically become like a full adult. You support yourself fully, you pay taxes, you realize, okay, this is what life is about, really. You're going to work, pay bills, pay taxes. And then you also look around, you're like, what is my trajectory? So there was a moment where I felt like, because I graduated from college pretty late. I was like, am I ever going to own a home? Am I ever going to, have a family, stuff like that? And there was a moment where I felt like that might not be in the cards for me, And, but that moment was brief. I found, really good jobs, really good work, saved a lot of money. Like I started building myself up towards at least owning a home and feeling, because I felt like that's kind of like the first steps towards having a family or something
Really?
like that. Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause I
wow.
felt,
I would have bet having a family before me owning a house, which I was just like, that's just what it's going to be. I can rent a fancy house or whatever, but
yeah, no, for me, it was always important to own a home because that's how I grew up, and we had a house. So like I never liked apartments or condos or anything. So it was and when we met, that's what I was doing. I was looking to buy a house somewhere.
I
And
remember. I was too, actually, though. Like,
yeah,
weirdly enough, I was looking, it's the first time in my life I ever could afford to buy a house on my own.
so then we joined forces and got,
We joined forces and we bought our house. What was it, like 3 months into dating? Because we met, it was like 6 months or 7 months into like meeting, but like 3 months into dating, we bought a house together.
but I wouldn't call it like 3 months into dating. I call it like it was 3 months after we decided that we want to be together. And like
That's fast.
you know what I mean? Like it's you meet someone, you're not sure about it, but then you become sure about it and you get back together. Like I don't think I would have got back together to that dating phase unless I knew I wanted something more than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't like wasting my time or anyone else's time.
Yeah, I liked meeting each other like later on in life, I guess, because I think we're in our like second chapter of life. But I liked meeting at the time that we did because one, it's like we kind of know what we want and don't want. And it was also like I just had such bad experiences in the past that like when I had this like new thing happen, I wasn't like, no longer was I like, okay, maybe something better will come along. Because my thing was always like, I think someone better will come along. And when I met you, I was just like, oh, this is like what I wanted, even though I thought I wanted like famous, rich, all this stuff like that. And I was like, oh, this is what I wanted, as someone who just wants to be with me. And it was like so wonderful and so beautiful. But I don't think I would have been like that had I met you in my 20s.
Definitely not. Yeah.
And so I think it was a good time to meet. Plus, everything was just, it goes a little quicker, which I like to be a little quicker too. It's kind of like when you're older, you're like, all right, we're going to get married and have
Yeah.
babies. Like,
Yeah, because we're just more mature. That's why I think those couples you talk about that after 7 years, 10 years, they met 10 years before we did.
yeah.
So they went through big life changes and they're not the same people they were when they met, or
That's true.
they don't want the same things they wanted when they met. And I think that's tough to kind of grow up together and still stay connected or aligned in the same way.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
Right. I think that's another reason where I was like, I always want to be like a young mom, but I'm like, now knowing how much work it is, and like I could not have done it on my own, which I probably would have done it on my own if I had babies in my 20s. It would have been like just such a different, especially because I wasn't like well in my head and stuff like that. Now I'm a little more patient and calm. But I feel like when we had Malibu, that was like, at the time I just thought, oh my gosh, what did I do? Like, oh my God, I have a baby for the rest of my life. But I feel like that's really when like our life, you can always say this, like, became blessed. Like I feel like all the blessings started coming once we had Malibu. Like everything just seemed to kind of like fall into place. Us, our routine, our house, like all the stuff. And then with Elvis too, it just feels like everything kind of like began for us. I don't know. It feels like a new beginning with each baby. Like Malibu felt like a new beginning. And then with Elvis, it really feels like a new beginning. I was like, oh, our lives are starting now.
Yeah, there's a saying, I don't know in English how to say it, but kids, they bring basically it's not a financial blessing, but it is, like it's almost like when you have kids, God helps you because what life is about life, right? It's about bringing life and multiplying and making more life. So when you do that, when you participate in that act, life supports you back.
Yeah. Life provides life,
So
basically.
that life, and we felt that.
100%. And I think with each one too, it's just like, I don't know, like with, like you said, Elvis kind of feels even more complete. And like, but Malibu put us on this trajectory. I mean, it's like, not to like making it about the podcast or whatever, but just like, we went down so many paths of like where we were going because we actually didn't know. Like before Malibu, it was like a little bit chaotic. Like there wasn't like a plan. Like where are we going? What are we doing? And then there was a lot of like twists and turns with Malibu's first year, and then it all like kind of fell into place. And in more ways than one, not just the podcast, but just in a lot of ways, things became clear.
Yeah.
The people that were meant to be in our life were into our life. Whatever. Just stuff like that. So it just was just interesting. I don't know. I love being a mom. What's your favorite part about being a dad?
It's like, I don't know, it's like suddenly there's in your life people that are more valuable than your own life. It's like the value is insane. It's like out of imagination. You couldn't imagine that. I personally love being like a teacher to them. So it's like teaching and doing stuff and just helping them kind of realize their full potential and finding out what it is and then helping them realize it. But so just exposing them to a lot of things like today we're gonna sculpt, today we're gonna paint, today we're gonna make bubbles, today we're gonna play ball, like whatever, and
And you do all of that
and
already.
see and see what tickles their imagination, what they're good at, what they're happy, doing or want to do more of. But
And
it's fun.
you embrace them being kids so much. Like Malibu will paint with her hands, get it on her face, her hair, she'll color on the floor. And he really embraced just like letting them do that, like letting them be a kid. And if they make a mess, they make a mess. And what's really amazing is like not only do they make a mess, like Malibu will make a mess everywhere. And then she'll like literally clean it up, like literally be like wants to come clean it up. She'll be like, uh-oh. And she'll be like Malibu. And then she'll like clean it up and stuff like that. It's like, and it was something that happened during my pregnancy. So I don't really know how that happened. I was just like, what is happening? She's making a mess and she's cleaning it up. Like, how did she learn all this? And it's like, obviously from you. And it was like such a beautiful thing to see. I was just like, oh, I love it. Cause I saw her coloring on the floor for the first time and I was like, oh my God, it's our hardwood floors upstairs. I was like, what? And then afterwards she just cleaned it up. Everything was good. I was like,
Yeah, I mean, I think the key is with kids in general is to not ever be angry at them. So it's like you're the adult. You set the rules of the game, right? But you also set the game, right? Because they're wherever they are, it's like it's a new game, and you set the board. So if you're somebody that gets upset from kids making a mess, don't put them in a situation where they would do that. If you can handle it, because
yeah.
the adult is the problem here, not the kid.
That's why we don't paint with mom.
So,
I'm like, we'll wait for Abba to paint.
so don't set up your kid to failure where you'll be upset with them and then get angry with them. When we get angry with the kids, we just it destroys them. It destroys their soul and destroys their calmness. That's why kids get anxious. That's why then they can't focus in class. That's why they get on medication. It's like everything triggers from those moments. Everything. So not being angry with them. So if I watch her do something, and I don't come to it with judgment or anger or any fear, like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Like, okay, so she might ruin something. Is that something important?
Yeah.
No. If it's important, don't have it there. Like,
Yeah.
it's very simple. So we do everything in a calm way. So then let's say she goes and she paints on the floor and she's like, oh, and then I get her a wipe and she cleans it. And then she painted all over her hands. And then she tells me, like, I want to wash my hands. And we go and we wash hands.
So she did that. She just started being like, I want to wash my hands. Or did you tell her, like, okay, we wash our hands now? Because I
No,
wasn't there for it.
She's very, in general, she's a very clean person. Like, she has this love for soaps.
I heard it was a Virgo thing. Someone told
She
me.
loves
Yeah.
soaps and lotions and
Cleaning.
bath time and cleaning.
If
Because
there's
sometimes,
a little speck, she's like,
yeah, she'll
uh-oh,
tell you,
hair.
like, or I'll give her a wipe to clean the floor and she'll take the wipe and go on to clean the rest of her toys. And I don't know, it's just her character,
Yeah.
right? It comes from her. But but having that kind of like safe space for her to experiment and to do things and not worry or not feel like somebody's always looking. Because I remember growing up feeling like somebody was always looking, right? So
Really?
then when somebody wasn't looking, you would get
Be
all,
mischievous.
yeah. So here she doesn't, if I'm not there, she won't even be mischievous. Being mischievous is part of the fun with me, you know?
Right, right.
So she'll like, we're drawing on the table and then she'll take the pen, she'll look at me and start walking away.
Right.
And then she run to the floor and then,
It's more like
you know,
a
like,
game than,
it's,
yeah.
it's, but we're, it's contained, right? Like, and she understands the limits of it and she understands, you know, the cleanup and everything about it. But
I didn't get to meet your dad. He passed away before we met, but is there anything that you learned from him as a father or any lessons you were like, okay, maybe I don't want to be like that? Either way, because I think with everyone, my dad, there's a couple wonderful things, but then there's also a lot of awful things. And I'm like, I definitely don't want to be like my dad in this way. Is there any like lessons? It doesn't have to be bad, but just like any lessons you're like, this
yeah,
taught
no,
me
I
this
mean,
about being a father?
yeah, it's a mixture. And I'm sure us will be too, also, they'll be good and bad. Every parent, like, there's no perfect parents. But my dad was kind of like a bigger than life figure, you know, like everyone knew him everywhere we went. It was almost like living with a celebrity, like
Wow.
where like everyone knew him, everyone respected him. I could walk anywhere to any store, place, and just say my dad's name and be like, "Oh, you're his son. Come on, here,
Oh.
like, take whatever you want, do whatever you want." Like, he was that kind of person.
How do people know him? Just because of his work or just because of his personality? Like he's just friends with everybody?
Some were maybe afraid of him, some
Oh.
were respected
Oh,
of him,
okay.
some were, you know, it's like it's a different world. There was a lot
Yeah.
of like, I don't know how to say it, but it was you know, it's a different time and it's a different world, and it's a world that was very much people that don't have money usually try to have power, right? So like that's why you have sometimes, you know, gangs, mafia, all those, you know,
Right.
like they have power, but mostly comes through violence and fear. But anyway, my dad was a very powerful person, and people were afraid of him, and here and there. So, growing up too, you know, I was never afraid of him. So I was never afraid of anyone really.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
As
So
a
it's
child, you
like
weren't?
no. So I grew up without fear, and that was probably
Challenge.
the yeah. It's that's the fear almost, right? That you
Right.
have no fear, that you have
That's
no.
true.
So he gave me a lot of strength, a lot of confidence in that way, a lot of I don't know, power, right, as a person, just to feel powerful in the world. Like I never felt that I have to go somewhere and be worried or afraid, or I always felt like I'm on the top and I can do what I need to do and what I want to do, and nobody's gonna challenge me about it, you know. So so in that way, that's why we're a bit of opposites, right?
Yeah.
Because we walk everywhere and you're like worried about what would somebody say, what would it, you know.
Yeah. I'm
I'm the
always,
opposite. I'm
yeah.
like everywhere you go, you're like you can do what you need to do because there's no reason why not to.
That is interesting. Yeah. I'm always scared of like getting in trouble or getting yelled at, and you like literally don't care.
Right, because the scariest person in the world was my dad.
Interesting. And you weren't scared of him.
So no, so then nobody else would be.
Even as a child, like if he's like when it was intimidating, you weren't scared a little bit as a little kid, like 5-year-old Moses.
It's hard to explain it. Like you're worried about what he could do, you know. But at some point you realize, I was very young when I understood the psychology of my dad.
Interesting.
Like very young, I understood like his relationship with his dad was the reason why he was the way he was. And so I don't know, as a kid, I understood that because I remember hearing him when I was like this small, talking to his friends about things that happened between him and his dad.
Interesting.
So I realized very quickly like what the issues that he was dealing with, and definitely he had like severe PTSD, and he went through a lot of trauma, and so I understood all that. So whenever I saw him, I saw it through that lens. I never saw it as me a victim of anything other than, you know, he was the victim. So he was the one that. So when you have PTSD, you have a lot of anger,
Yeah.
and I've kind of learned that anger is definitely not the way to go about life, and in general, like he seemed to be very, you know, I think when people are narcissistic, they're also a lot of times paranoid, because they think they are the center of everything. So they think everyone wants to hurt them, everyone wants
Right.
to get them, everyone.
Everyone's thinking
So my
about
dad
them.
was definitely that kind of person that thought everyone, if something happened, he thought it happened on purpose. That person did that on purpose to him.
Yeah, I used to feel that way.
When in reality, it was either a coincidence or the opposite of what he thought. So I hated seeing him going about life thinking that people wanted bad things to happen to him or didn't have his best interest in mind. And so many times I would watch him go through that and get to, an argument or get angry or get into a certain fight with somebody, only at the end to turn out to be the opposite. And so anyway, it was interesting growing up seeing all that, but I don't know.
And you wouldn't help him back then, where he wouldn't listen. You don't think? I mean, the fact that you knew that at a young
There
age.
were
but-
moments. There were moments. I remember one time when he visited here. It was so funny because we had one of the biggest arguments we had, and it was over like, I don't know, ice cream. Like he wanted something. There was a huge line. I got him his ice cream, whatever, and then he was upset about something, and I was just like, because he was always the kid. I was the adult. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
What was he upset
emotionally,
about?
he wanted more whipped cream or something. It was the stupidest thing. So anyway, so we leave there, and then he was all upset because like it hurts his ego or whatever, and he was so he said something, and I was just like, I just looked him dead in the eyes, and I said, "Look, you have to understand, you're not the center of the universe. You're not.
You said that to your dad.
We're not
Oh my
here.
gosh.
Nobody wants to. It just that's what happened, and that's what it was. And
Did he
that's
get
it.
mad, or was he
It's
like,
not personal. No, he suddenly.
"Oh, you listened as an adult"?
Yeah, or there was another time where it wasn't the same trip. He would always have he would never say I don't know. Ever.
Okay.
He was a know-it-all, right?
Okay.
And one time I told him like I never heard you say I don't know.
Right.
And sure enough after that he would start to say I don't know when he didn't know. Instead
Oh, that's good. So you
instead
did.
of yeah.
You helped him later in life. Then you just couldn't have helped
A little
him.
bit, yeah. I think he really cared about what I thought.
Interesting.
But really didn't know. I don't know. I mean, so I accomplished all of his dreams. His dream was to come to America. His dream was
Really?
like all of his. So I'm kind of like the
Oh.
vessel that everything happened through.
Was he proud of you when you came here, or was he more as? Yeah. Did he say it?
Because
Would
you
he
have to
ever-
understand, when I moved here, you move to a whole new country and you leave your family behind. So my mom was heartbroken, and then, but my dad, one time I went back home to visit, and he was just like, "Don't come back here. There's nothing here for you.
Oh, he was like, "Stay, go."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like
good.
you're in the right path. You're doing what you need to do. It's fine. Like
Hmm.
it's fine. Like don't come back."
That's nice.
And he was like, all of my friends, all their kids, a mess. Like,
Oh,
and he was like, I don't know what I did right, but my kids are not, in trouble, whatever it is, drugs, jail, divorces, whatever, like, all kind of like
Yeah.
messy things in life. He was, because that's for us too. Like, that's all I want is like to have kids that will give us peace also later on in life so we can enjoy our life. If you have good kids that you don't have to worry about and they're independent and they are strong and they're, capable, confident, and
also just knowing that they'll be okay when we're not here. Like, oh, I think that's like everyone's goal, right? I always just wanted my dad to see me like get married and have kids, so he knows like I'm all right. Because that's all I think we want. All I want for my girls is like not that they have to get married, but just making sure they're okay in their life without me if I'm not here.
yeah.
And so he saw that from you like early because you came here, 25? So he was able to see you just kind of crush it very early and not follow in the footsteps of the people he knew. And you said the PTSD thing. I feel like that also kind of just like alters like the chemicals in your brain. You know what I mean? So like even though maybe there was anger issues, like I know for me I had anger issues, but I think it was more of like my PTSD from my childhood. Like it like actually like alters like the chemicals. Like they call it the chemical imbalance, right? Like because it's like
No, he would totally black out.
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like that's something that's I really think is like scientifically related to trauma and stuff where you can't. So maybe that's where it is because you're not like that at all. Like you really don't have any of that, which is I would say you've had a little trauma in your childhood, just stuff you've told me in the past and stuff. So I'm kind of shocked that you don't have PTSD or any
Well, I
sort
mean,
of
if you
dissociation.
you can overcome trauma, you can overcome anything. Usually, what happens is like you have somebody usually it's somebody that had trauma now traumatized somebody else,
Yeah, you had to heal it
and
first.
they're passing. I like to look at it in a spiritual way. So, like, a child is perfect, full of love. Somebody that
Hmm.
has in them some spirit that is not good, that is bad, hurt the child. Now they transfer that spirit to them. So, unless the child is
Okay.
able to forgive that person
Ugh.
and in a way send back that evil spirit rather than embrace it and become it, then
Yeah.
so it's hard because people don't want to forgive their whoever hurt them because you feel like I don't want to give them a pass, but you're not giving them a pass. You're actually helping yourself
Releasing it.
to reject that evilness out of you.
I just hate that they have to go through that in the first place. I think about that too. I was like, Malibu's just so happy and like just everything's happy in her life right now and like peace and love and everything. She thinks about nothing bad. And I'm like, I hate that there's people that will try and but every child is born that way. So it's like
Yeah.
who the parents hurting the child and then the child going to hurt other people. And it's just like, it just makes me so sad to think about because every child is pure. We go to her little class with all her little friends and they're all just like happy and chasing bubbles and like everything is perfect. And it's like there's no bad anything. They all share, they let each other go down the slide. They're all in these carts together just having fun. And it's like, gosh, where does that flip? Where does that turn? It's like, I just want to keep her in a bubble, which I know is like not realistic, but I do so bad because it's like, I want to keep her that way because we've both been through stuff where it's just like, damn.
Yeah, and that's why you have to be aware of it. You have to
Mm-hmm.
protect your children from because hate. When hate sees love, it just wants to destroy it. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing more it wants. So
Yeah.
it's like it even calls it even more. It just wants to do that. And for us, we just have to always protect our kids, be aware of where they are, what they're doing, who they're with, and you have to. There's no other way because you don't know where that will come from. It's everywhere all the time.
Is there anything since becoming a dad where you're like, okay, like for me, like as a mom, I'm like, I can understand now where my mom did some things. I was just like, okay, I kind of understand why she had to work all the time because she wanted to give us nice things or whatever. Is there anything that you like, maybe, I know you didn't judge your dad, but maybe was like, oh, thought like you can understand more about your dad now that you're a dad? Like maybe the way he was, maybe why he was like detached or whatever. Do you understand anything more now as being a dad or?
Yeah. Well, I think I understood it back then, but yeah, I
Oh,
think
okay.
I think
You're
it's
like, I
just
got it figured
my
out.
dad. No, it's just my dad was very. So he grew up in a different time, and we come from like basically Arabic culture. So we're
Mm,
very like honor and respect was the highest form of highest value, and and it's kind of like it happens in the community, right? So I know for my dad was very important what other people thought because that's kind of like it's almost like peer pressure. That's where the honor and respect and all that. So so a lot of the things he did was because of that, where he was afraid of what people would say, what they would think, and you can't disrespect him or dishonor him, doing certain things or so I understood that part. I wish it wasn't so prominent because I think it's better to care about what you think about your own family rather
mm-hmm.
than what other people think about your own family.
It's a hard one because I think a lot of people probably think more about what other people think about their family than their own family. You know what I mean? Especially with social media. I feel like now more people are so concerned what other people think of them as a family. I was at
Mm.
first. I was very much like, oh, I'm not holding Malibu in a photo. People are gonna think she's not attached to me or something. You know what I mean? Like it was in my head for so long with that, and now I'm like, I don't care as much, but it's still one of those things where it's like you hear all these comments and more people are like, oh, I hope they think I'm a good mom. Like I have to show that because it's such a funny thing. I think when we waited a couple weeks to announce our birth, and it's like so many people were so mad when we put Malibu out right away. Like the next day, oh, a vlog went up that night. Oh, she has a camera in her face in the hospital. But when we didn't post for 2 weeks, everyone was upset. Everyone was like, oh, she's not posting. People were like taking pictures of us, with the baby and stuff like that. Like when we were out in public, like you just can't really win when you like are worried about what other people think. But I feel like in general, it's funny that your dad back then, before social media, was like concerned about what other people
It
thought.
would be awful if there was social media in my dad's life when he was alive. That would be awful. Because as kids, we managed to protect him and hide certain things we were doing.
What were you doing that you think he was maybe like embarrassed by or what? or that would be
I don't know. I mean, I was
disrespectful?
very like, I studied cinema in high school, and we were very like hippie, and I don't know, like we were, like one time I really wanted to grow my hair long, and he was like not about it. And one time I kind of had a crazy haircut and kind of like shaved one side and thing, and he just immediately took me back to the hairdresser to fix it.
Oh my
Like yeah, like things
gosh.
like
Oh,
so.
that's so
So
funny.
there wasn't a lot of freedom of expression. How we
Mm-hmm.
dressed, what we looked like, things like that. So if you so if there was
Int-
social media, I would see everything, and I think that would be that'd be awful.
He would be like, "Oh no, absolutely not." He probably wouldn't be allowed to have it if it was back then. You guys probably would have been the household that couldn't have social media,
Of some kind, yeah.
or you
So
find a way. Is there anything Malibu or Elvis could do like that that would be like a hard no, like don't do this? Like they want to get a tattoo or a piercing at 15 years old.
no, I mean I'm aware of the fact that they will challenge us with things we don't know. Because every parent think I'm a cool parent, I'm open minded, I know, but then society changes so much that something happens, you're like, no, no way, So life will challenge
Yeah.
us, and I know that something will happen that will be to me seem like not, and I will just have to be open minded about it even more. So it's like I have to know that I won't know. I have to know that I won't understand. I have to know that because they have to have something of their own, right?
Right.
Because that's how they differentiate themselves from us, the adults, and they're the cool teenagers, right?
Yeah.
But if you know everything and take everything, then everything becomes Facebook, right? And nothing is cool.
Oh, I see. I was like,
Like,
yeah, I
so
can see that.
that's how we destroy Facebook. Let all the parents on it.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't rebel until I was like 18, and it was only because my dad told me I couldn't be on a TV show that I was on, and told me I had to go to college and I couldn't wear skirts anymore. And then that's when I rebelled. That's when I was like, I'm gonna go be a hooker because I never did like in high school. I was never rebellious. I was like literally so good. I always hung out with my mom. We always went to the mall and went to the movies, and I had so much fun and like never went to dances, never made out with boys, like nothing like that. And then I was 18, and then my dad was like, I like lived with my dad, and he was like, I was on a TV show and they asked me back. It was called The Greg Barron Show. And he's like, basically, you know the story. But anyways, like a couple times I went up and I didn't want my stepmom to take me and I was 18. And he's just like, well, then you're no longer going there. And he cut the Wi-Fi off and everything. And then that's when that became my Hollywood hooker story because I was just like, well, I'm just going to go wild and like whatever. So I think you're right to that about the rebellion is like if you're just so shut off from it. My mom was like always very open. If I wanted to move to California at 15, she was like, okay, I tried it, whatever, So I think that is kind of, she might have been too open, but it was still
Yeah, you have to
nice.
find the right
Still
way,
good though.
how to support your kids, but also not offer them, because they are vulnerable and you still have to be able to protect them.
Right. I had an interview with Courtney Stodden on my first podcast, and her mom like was so like she was gonna marry the 51-year-old actor when she was 16, and the mom was like, "Yeah, do it." She was like pushing me to do it, and I was like, "Okay, well that's like a whole other thing." But yeah, it'll be interesting when they're teenagers, but I don't want to think about that. I'm just so enjoying the moment. I love Malibu at this age. I love Elvis at this age. Was there anything about the newborn stage that you are surprised about all over again? Is it easier or is it harder this time around with number 2?
It's funny. I mean, it's easier because I don't know, kind of developed all kind of little tricks and things how to, get the milk ready faster at night, and so like the nights are easier. It's easier because we know what to expect and how to do it. What was hard is suddenly I didn't expect it, but like the lack of communication, right? Like suddenly there's again this like little being that is just not able to talk,
Mm-hmm.
not doesn't give you a smile yet, doesn't. So that was funny. It's just like, hey, like,
Just like a little alien baby
because with
again.
Malibu we like waited so long, for the first smile, then the first word, and then the first, and now like it's full communication. She's so smart and talks so much. So so it's kind of funny
To
to
start
be
over.
back there.
And that's only 1.5-year age difference. People like do 4. I don't know how people do it when they're like 4 and fully a toddler and then start with the baby again. Like that would be the only thing that scared me about baby 3 is like if they're both like 5 and 6 and we're like, oh no, this next baby comes. Because it seems like it takes a long time. But I guess looking back, it really went by fast with Malibu.
it goes by fast no matter what.
Yeah.
And if anything, they'll be more helpful. Be like,
It's true.
okay,
That's what they say, right? It's like, all right, here's the baby. Because I know there's people I know that have like a 12-year-old and they're like going to have another baby. And it's like, they're like, well, they like
yeah,
help
they'll
out and stuff.
participate more
That's
and
crazy.
help more.
Yeah. It's like the Baldwins have a reality show coming and he has 7 kids and he started at like 60 years old having them with his second
Oh,
wife.
Started.
He has a daughter that's my age with Kim Basinger. I don't know her name. So he had one child before that's my age, but then like starting over at 60 and having 7 kids.
And all 7 with the same wife.
Yeah, Hilaria. Hilaria Baldwin. Do you know
How
her?
do you say cucumber?
You said something earlier. We're like, I don't know how to say it in English. And I literally thought of Hilaria. I don't even know if she's foreign. I think she's American. I don't know. There's a debate on
That's
that.
a whole
Is it?
controversy. Yeah.
I thought she's, I don't know. I heard she's
it
from
goes in
Boston.
and out. It goes in and out of the.
I kind of live for that, though. I want to start talking in an accent. That's kind of everything.
Why not? She's in entertainment. That's her character.
And now they're having a reality show with 7. That's what I'm saying, to start over at like 60.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Because 60, you're still living life. Robert De Niro and Al Pacino having
like-
babies at 80. It's like, okay, well, you're not going to live any much longer.
Yeah.
But 60, you still have quite a bit of life. You could have 30 years
I wonder
left.
if they have a lot of help or not. You know what I mean? Like I can see it both ways. I wonder which way it is.
Alec Baldwin?
Yeah.
Babe, and no judgment because they're busy, but they have a lot of help. He's filming movies. They're out together with the paparazzi. Like, I mean, they have to.
Because there's the type of people that have a lot of help, and having a kid doesn't really affect their life. You know, the kid sees them when they're ready to see the kid. You know, it's not even.
Yeah. I think most celebrities are like, and again, not in a bad way. I think if you're just really busy.
Or very wealthy people, like it's a lifestyle. They like I've seen people shame people for having their baby with them and not with the nanny.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
Yeah.
So they see it in a certain way of like,
Where's your nanny?
you're not supposed to do any of that.
Was it the
or-
Kardashians who was like, "Oh, you don't have a live-in nanny right now"? Remember?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think Courtney or somebody was asking
Courtney said to
Chloe.
Chloe, yeah.
and Chloe's like, "No, I don't have a live-in right now, but probably eventually I'm gonna have to." I'm like, and then I like had to stop and ask, and I was just like, "Wait, what does that mean? Like, someone's just there full time to just be like," and
And
again,
not one person. Well, they have a staff. Like it's not even
I mean,
because
yeah.
the houses that I've seen, there's somebody that just attend to kitchen. There's somebody that just does laundry. There's somebody that
I mean, I
is
get
a
that.
nanny. A nanny is a whole thing, and the nanny bosses around other people to get laundry and food. Like you know what I mean? Like
right?
there's
It's a whole different world.
Yeah, but what I've seen is that the kids grow up with a nanny, and the nanny is usually not. From a young age, they grow up being entitled and feeling that they're smarter than everybody, better than everybody, and they're just here to boss around people.
It's a hot take, babe. I don't know if I agree with that, but
What?
I don't know. I don't know people who grew up with nannies, but I feel like that's not everybody. I feel like that's like maybe a small percentage of people.
I'm talking about people that are very wealthy and kids
Okay.
that they grow up to be. That's why they grow up to be in life later on. Is their parents?
That's
you
a
know.
Moses opinion. Don't come for me. I don't think so.
No.
I really don't think so. I think
I'm not against nannies, but I'm saying
Yeah.
if a kid is completely left alone and the person that's taking care of them is not a family member and they just have a different dynamic, it is
Yeah.
an employee. And at some point, the kid realized this is an employee.
well, but they still could care for the baby. I mean, there's those people who are special.
No,
that
you can
just,
have a nanny to help you, here and there. But I'm just saying, like,
I don't know. I think there's some nannies who like truly care for their kids. You know what I mean? That just like
yeah, no, but it's not about the nanny. It's about the kid. I think the kids
Right.
are the one getting corrupted. Not the nanny is fine.
I don't know.
They're
I don't
great.
agree. I don't want a nanny, and that's why I play the lottery, because I would honestly like just quit working for like 10 years to be with my kids, because that would be everything. But I don't know. I think there's like love and parenting in different forms, and nannies can be that. Like, and I respect the parents who know enough to be like, okay, I don't either want to be with my kid full time. I can't be with them full time. I'd rather be a provider full time. Like I'd
but-
rather give it to someone who's
What I'm
know.
talking about is not the love. I think the nannies provide the love and the nurture and the caring.
Yeah.
Discipline is what's missing.
You don't think they discipline? You never seen 911 because that's a show where she would teach them how to discipline. I think it was called 911, and it was she would teach them how to discipline, because most parents lack discipline. So the nanny would come in and teach them like you have to discipline. So I don't know.
Yeah, you don't want to be best friends with your kid. You have to still be able to discipline
I'm being
them.
best friends with my kids. I don't agree with that either. I feel like I want to be best friends with them.
You can be. I'll have to discipline them. And discipline doesn't mean to be awful. It just means some
never
boundary.
disciplined. I was never disciplined as a kid. And I feel like I turned out really good. I feel like I'm really respectful and really nice, and I've never been disciplined. Like I was never
Some
spanked, put in a
boundaries.
corner, grounded,
No,
whatever
again, I'm
that
not talking
means.
about like violence and
But even grounding
anger.
and stuff, I never was like that.
Boundaries and
I just listened, honestly. I would just listen. If I was told not to do something, I'm like, I'll just listen. I don't know. I don't like discipline. I don't like it. I feel
there
like
must have been some form.
No, I mean, I got yelled at by my dad. And that was awful. That was traumatizing.
Again, no anger.
My
That's-
mom never
the anger
disciplined
is
me.
the bad part of it.
My mom never disciplined me. It's I think it turned out pretty good. Were you disciplined?
Yeah, to some degree, of course.
What was it? Grounding?
No, I mean, I feel like we were grounded our whole lives.
Just never allowed to leave the
'Cause
house.
we kind of lived far away from where I went to school, so
Oh, right. You said you couldn't like hang out with kids as much.
it was hard to like hang out with people I went to school with.
But what did discipline look like for you? I never was, so I don't know.
I don't know. I think for us there was too much. Like we would just be worried about the outcomes of things, so we wouldn't push it that way.
That's what I'm saying. I almost feel like you didn't need discipline either then. If you just didn't
No,
push
but there
it, you knew
was.
better. You knew better to not push a boundary. You're like, okay.
Right, but it has to come from somewhere. It has to start.
So where did
somewhere.
it start for you? Me, I was just like, okay, I'm going to listen. It's an adult. I'm going to listen.
Mm-hmm.
What was yours? That's what I want to know. Like, I want to know, like, what was it that you were like, okay, not going to push that boundary. If it wasn't just knowing, like, I just knew.
I don't know. Something will be either taken away from you or
Mm.
happen to you. Like
So sad. Oh gosh, that makes me always sad though too. When like someone's like takes away, like, could you imagine taking away like Malibu's blanket, like her prized possession? Like it'd be so sad. Like as a punishment, like you don't get your blanket. Oh my god, that makes me so sad to think about.
yeah, but that's
Oh my
she's
god.
a toddler.
Oh, I can't. I crumple instantly. Like if we're in the car and she wants the bumba and Mose will be like, wait till we get to the stroller. I'm just like, I have to give it to her now. Like I don't want to hear her cry. Like that's so sad. And it's food. Maybe she's hungry. I'm like, let's have some bumba. I just can't do it. I can't. And I don't think I will. That's where we differ. That'll be interesting with parenting. Most of the stuff we agree on now, but it's like later on down the road. Like it's hard when you don't agree on parenting styles. Like what do you do?
Right. Well, the kids count on it. That's why they go to one parent, and if they don't get it, they go to the other parent.
That's true. That's going to be hard.
They count on that. But I don't think so. I mean, again, I don't think we'll have issues with them. I don't think so because they're not lacking of anything.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, especially with girls. Luckily, we have girls because I think you'd be, I always said this, I always think like if you had a son, I think you'd be harder on the son
Which I don't understand where
than
it
the
comes
girls.
from. But
Because I feel like with, like, you kind of have this sort of, like, men are men, you know what I mean? Like, like if you're, I don't know, I just feel like you would want him to be a little more tougher like you and more serious like you. No? So, like, if we
I
had
think
a son.
Malibu is exactly like me, so it's not even
That's true, I
like you don't even have to do anything.
Okay, maybe not. I don't know. I guess that's true.
No, I
But
think it's your projection on
what does that mean? You think I'm projecting how I feel?
no how men are, what men are thinking.
Not at all. Not at all. If it was for me, I feel like our son, like I wouldn't even have to worry about pink. I'm like, he can be in pink everything. He can dance. He can play with Barbies, like all that stuff like that. Not to say you wouldn't be like that. I just would. I don't know. I feel like you'd be more like you're gonna help me. You're gonna help me bring up the groceries or something, as opposed to like girls. You're just like, I don't know. No, I wouldn't. I would just be like, he's a little boy. I don't know. Boys would be interesting. I don't know how I would be with them. I feel like I'd probably try to baby a boy, but I baby the girls too. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's that different.
Yeah.
I think what I notice when I go to class with Malibu is just the boys have more energy. They just like they just run
wild.
until they hit a wall. They just like they have so much energy. So it's like
I've been a little anti little boys
you
lately.
just have to get them out there and let them run around in circles until they
I was
exhaust themselves.
fine until they try to like tug on Malibu and pull on her and stuff like that boy at the one gym class and like just making faces and stuff at that. And she
But
was
he
like
was.
8. I was like,
I mean, he had issues. Like that was some serious. Yeah.
Malibu was like 1. She was just starting to walk, and I was like, I saw red. I wanted to go up to that boy and just like grab him by his hoodie. I was just like, what are you doing? Because he like made faces at her about the side. Then he came and like pulled on her like sleeve or something. I'm like, can you chill?
Yeah, I was trying to pull her like jacket and start coming off of her hand.
Oh
and
my god, I was boys, but anyways.
sometimes you just have to stay calm and calmly just diffuse the situation. You go your way and you take your kid
Yeah.
out of that situation.
What do you think about when people say, like, a lot of people are like, oh man, because, it's funny, even my doctors and stuff, they're like, maybe you'll have a third or something, have a boy. What do you think about that when people say that? When it's like, we already have two girls, and like, oh, well, don't you want a boy? Maybe you'll have a boy the next time.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. I think even now, I remember there was somebody commenting like, "Oh, he deserves to have a boy" or something, and I was like, I wanted another girl
Yeah.
because you don't go according to what you want; you go with the flow of what is happening. And I'm like, Malibu is what happened, and the best scenario is for her to have a little sister, and even better if she's closer in age. So it was never like what I want or what we want, because that always come back to just blow up in your face.
Right. Like,
So yeah, so I don't know
trying to control what
if
comes
there'll be a
out.
third baby, what it will be. Like it's all open. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It'd be another girl, great. Like it doesn't matter like at all. And because I remember like Kobe, rest in peace. Him and his daughter. Like there was nothing.
They're like
There was no
besties.
reason for that to be a boy, or like it was perfect. And
He got his basketball player. She liked the same things he did.
yeah, so even if you want that, you can get that when you have a girl. You don't really need to. They don't need to be exactly
You
the
got a
same.
little artist with Malibu.
Yeah, and I'm a creative person, so I feel like there's actually more chance that, she'll do things that I enjoy and I like too.
Yeah. It's always interesting when people say that. It's like so funny. I'm just like, I get it.
It's an old-fashioned thing, I think.
Yeah.
And,
But we're such like a new generation, and I was like, it's such a weird thing that people.
right, so let's say if your dad didn't have boys, and then they would think, oh, but the name paid us. We wanted to continue, right?
Oh, right. Very
But
Bridgerton.
here, it does continue. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Time of change.
Yeah.
The name still continues on through
true.
Malibu and Elvis, and
We have the Paytas living still.
so I think in that way things have changed and people just haven't caught up with it yet. They're still
Yeah.
like, oh, you need that boy, or you need the
name or something.
heir of
yeah.
the Paytas Hacmon Empire.
I see what they're saying though, because I guess if they get married, they probably change their name, and then the Paytas Hacmon name dies. Because we're the first Paytas Hacmon generation with Malibu. So they're both girls, but it's fine. But like you said, maybe they'll give their babies.
That's what I'm
Paytas-
saying. That
Okay.
already happened. So if anything, they'll want to mimic their mom,
Right. We're watching.
They're like, I'm keeping.
That's true. They might do like just if they are like a Hollywood people, they just do Paytas and
Yeah, the other person might have two names too, and now they'll have 4 last names. Just keep going and going and
That'd
going.
be crazy. Like
Yeah.
it'll be like Game of Thrones where they just have these
Like
long
in the
names.
Bible,
Yeah.
this person, the son off, and the daughter off, and then nephew off.
We're watching Bridgerton, and like they are so set on whoever gets a boy as like the first is the heir or whatever, and they get all the money. I was like, that's such a weird thing. Like it's such. So that's what made me think about it again, and I was just like, that is weird. Why do they need a boy? But I guess to carry on the name. Is that it? Back in the Bridgerton era?
Yeah, because you didn't want it to basically disappear. And which again, if you're dead, what do you care about?
Yeah. If you're dead or a dad.
Dead, like about legacy, right? People are,
Oh,
it's
right.
the legacy, and I'm like, legacy doesn't care about you. you're 6 feet under.
What has been the most surprising thing as a dad? Like, what has surprised you the most about yourself as a dad? Like, did you think you would be
All of it. Surprised.
really? Like, did you see it any other way for you? Like, did you visualize I guess for you, you're so someone who's just like, you just experience it as it happens.
I'm in the moment, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I didn't
You
think
don't.
about it, so I also didn't worry about it. You know what I mean? Like I didn't think about it either way. You just suddenly there was a baby here, and suddenly it needed to be changed, and it needed to be fed, and you know what I mean? Just
You were very natural at it.
it was all just happens, and then. But yeah, the bond. I think the bond and the connection to another living being, how helpless they are. It's kind of insane that we survived as a species. It's like
It is crazy. It's also crazy to think about people who like are not great parents in the sense like they're, I don't know, if they're addicts or they're not around or, they move the baby around a lot or something like that, like how those babies survive. You hear people who have like alcoholic moms or something that only took care of them. It's like, it's actually insane that not only do those babies grow and survive, but they like can thrive a lot of times. There's a lot of people on YouTube who share their stories about their parents or TikTok even, being a lot of alcoholic parents and stuff like that. And it's like, how do these babies survive that where they end up like taking care of the parents and then they're able to like thrive and stuff, It's, I guess, how strong the human race is, I guess.
friends that went through foster homes and things like it's amazing how resilient we are and we can. But I think it's for me what was so, I think, hard was more life before kids and before marriage. It was kind of safe, my heart was safe. Nothing could really hurt it or do anything that would, yeah, like there was no fear, there was no danger, right? Because I was like in full control of me and my world and my heart. So, but now suddenly my heart is like in three different places. So it's like with you, with Malibu, with Elvis. It's like there's three places that it can be, hurt or,
Yeah.
and even if everything is fine, it is hurt when I see other kids. Like, because I remember when like I was dressing Malibu and she was really small and you're so careful, like putting the sleeve over her little fingers that, by mistake, you're not even twisting her finger a little bit. And at the same time, bombs going off and children are dying. And that just completely like destroyed me. I was just like,
Yeah, it's not fair.
it's not okay that
Yeah.
any child out there or parent is losing a child and children are dying. And
Yeah.
so that was like, because I was like, I'm so careful right now with just this little sleeve. And there's like entire neighborhoods, buildings, people, they're just like getting crushed down and dying. That part was like insane and very hard to process. So it's like, so suddenly every child in the world became my child, and suddenly every child in the world pain became my pain. And that part, I didn't know that was going to come, and I didn't expect that.
Yeah, so now you're feeling pain for other children, like,
And parents, yeah.
yeah, it's because it's just not fair. Like, a lot of it isn't, and I agree. I feel the same way. It's like just hard. And yeah, when you have a child, it's like a whole different perspective because you see how like innocent they are and like they don't choose anything in this life. And yeah, it really,
And we protect them and so careful from the smallest things that can hurt them. And then there's like,
yeah, it's awful. That's like the worst part about being a parent is just, yeah, that worry, that, that fear. That I think it never goes away, right? You always hear parents talk about that as like, when do you stop worrying about your children? And most parents would say like, never, you always worry about them and make sure.
well, the
you're doing
goal
it.
is to raise good kids, then you don't need to worry.
Right.
And that's why I feel like the time we spend now really in crafting and helping like craft their character and help them be independent, strong individuals will pay off later when we want to just enjoy, our retirement, our life as adults, and not be
As adults.
consumed,
as more
not
adults.
be older adults, and not be consumed by troubles that
Yeah.
might come from, if you don't do that work. So I feel like it's worth it right now to put all of ourselves into.
They say that, we always are sending each other Instagram reels. Like our whole Instagram reels is like stuff about having young kids. And yeah, I did see something like between the years of 1 to 5, it's actually like really formative for them. Like even though like they don't remember, it's like all the subconscious stuff and the stuff that the values you like put on them. And I know me now, how I am now, where I'm like, God, I wish I could go back to the time Malibu was a newborn and just like hold her more. So now with Elvis, I'm going to just be like, okay, I need to hold her as much as I can. And luckily Malibu was only a year and a half, so I can still be in this, but I need to be more present. I need to be this. If she comes to grab my hand, take me somewhere, like put down anything I'm doing to go do that, because I don't think that it doesn't last forever. And so,
Yeah, I think even before one, they say 1 to 5. I think it's
yeah.
from the womb, the state of mind of the mother, and everything that happens around to the first day they're born. That's why in the hospital, even I'm like, because I remember the nurse said like, oh, they're in their sleeping era. Like you can do whatever, poke them, like they don't feel anything or remember anything.
She said that. They're in their sleeping era.
Probably not era,
Kind
sleeping
of love that though.
phase, sleeping
Oh,
something.
got it. Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, no, that's actually the opposite. Like the younger they are, the more events affect them in life. And it's not about memory of an event, it's about how it shapes your character.
Yeah.
And Malibu might not remember certain events, but it shapes her character, whether she's afraid of something or anxious about something or has a lack of something. Like, so I don't think, because I think when I grew up, people had that idea of like babies, they're just there. They're not. they don't absorb anything. They don't participate.
Yeah,
They
they're
don't
not going to
care.
remember.
Yeah, and that's just not the case at all. It's the opposite.
Well, and again, on my Instagram reels, I always see like, maybe they don't remember, but like you do, like you don't want to like miss those memories of like just being on your phone the whole time. And meanwhile, like the baby's doing like, even Elvis makes such cute faces. She'll do a little, and granted, people could say it's gas or whatever, but she has those little,
No, she has little
She has-
smiles and smirks, and
little Zoolander face.
you can tell when she's content after a good bottle.
Oh, and it's like, again, something I didn't get to experience in Malibu was just like, she loves being like held to sleep because the minute like I put her down, she like wakes up and is fussy. I'm like, okay, more warmth in there. So just, getting all that. And, I feel like when you're a first time mom, it's like hard. So that second child really, for me, just made me feel like, okay, I need to be more present in both of their lives. Cause I will put her down. I'll put Elvis down in the swing to like play with Malibu. Cause I'm like, I never got to do that. And I think it surprised her the other day because, again, I was pregnant for the past, like, year, basically. So I wasn't, like, able to get down on the floor. So the other day I put Elvis in her swing. And then with Malibu, she had this little Target checkout thing. And she, like, kind of dumped it and left. And she was going to go look for you. So all of a sudden I just started playing with it and just, like, checking out. I was, like, checking out, like, a little ghost person. And then Malibu just starts laughing, comes back. And then I started checking her out and stuff. And she just thought it was, like, the funniest thing ever. Whatever she had, I was, like, scanning. And it was just fun. It was just fun to, like, play with her again. And I don't know. It's been...
She loves. I mean, you make her laugh the most. You're the most entertaining thing ever because she loves to sing and dance and all kind of stuff. And she just lights up when you start singing. That's the best thing ever.
It was so fun today. I was like, luckily we had my mom here because it's such a funny thing too because it's like hard to capture moments of everyone together. I see a lot of times moms will say like, oh, I wish the dad would capture more moments of me. You do a great job of it because obviously we do social media and stuff like that. But it's like a lot of times the moms just get like selfies or no pictures. They're the ones taking the cute pictures and no one takes it of them because they say, the dads don't do it or whatever. But it's hard to get one of the family of 4. But we had our little photo shoot today. It was cute. We were taking pictures. But Malibu was just being such an entertainer, like just like twirling and singing. And I was just like, I like wish we had a video. And luckily my mom was like right outside because we were going to do this podcast right after. And so I was like, Mom, you like come take, hopefully she got a good video of it. Because it was just like at moments like that, like, like you remember and they're great memories, but it's like, oh, I want to capture this. Cause she was just, what were we singing? Sound of Music or something. And she was just so happy. It's cute. I can't wait for you to see the photos. The photos of her behind you, just kind of like swinging her arms.
Yeah, because it was hard. Again, you got to go with the flow because it's like you want to get family photos, but it's hard with a toddler because but then she found her own thing, and so I'm holding the baby. I don't even know what's happening behind me, but she's like dancing and singing behind me. And
she's being herself so much, and it was
yeah.
so cute. And then you're with the baby, and it was a beautiful thing. It was cute because, it's hard at the beginning to get those photos together. And let me tell you, our family photos are always a little bit impossible to take because Malibu has like never been like too fond of like other people taking pictures. But today she really was like performing.
She grew up her whole life under the paparazzi's.
She does do no pictures sometimes.
She's like, no pictures.
She'll
no
say
pictures.
cheese if she wants a picture, and then sometimes she'll be like, no pictures, no pictures.
She learned well from.
It's interesting, but she does like them, and then there's sometimes she doesn't, and we respect those boundaries. I love when she says no. I think that's so healthy and good, and that's why I always want to be like, okay, no, like, can I have a hug? No, okay, that's fine,
And it's gonna be interesting to watch her grow, because like we were talking about memories, and like my earliest memories are ones that have photos of them. It's like earliest ones are around 10, 9, and then there's a couple that are a bit earlier, but it's because there's photos of them. So over the years growing up, I would go back and see those photos, so it kind of stayed there. And Malibu just loves watching home videos.
More than anything.
And when we realized that, we started filming more for her. So like if your dad is here, which is her favorite person in the world, they play together. So we'll just film them play. And then she doesn't like watching TV. She doesn't she just wants to watch home videos, like family videos. So she would sit and watch, and she would tell us like, I want to watch Bum Bum. That's how she calls him, hide. So them playing hide and seek, so anyway, so those videos are of her like 1-year-old kid, toddler playing around, and she knows them already. She remembers them, so she will grow up to have memories all the way back to being 1.
Yeah.
Like she'll actually remember
and
a
the
phase in
feelings.
life that I don't even know existed in my life.
I agree. I think she'll totally remember it. It does like soothe her in like this way, and she remembers those moments. She like laughs and giggles, and yeah, it's interesting. It'll be interesting in general. Yeah, like you said, pictures and videos for the social media. You know, we take a ton. Like, we don't even post them all on social media. Obviously, we have a ton
No,
of
it's
them.
for
and-
her because
Yeah.
she likes to watch them later
look
on,
back.
and
But I think there is something to it where she'll have that memory because, like I told you in 51st Dates, like when she had the amnesia every morning and they ended up having kids, he would play like a videotape for her every morning to catch her up on the life. And then she starts to remember, like she'll remember things, and he knew because she started singing the songs and whatever. He's like, oh, she remembers. So I think there is something to be said about that for sure. This is the first time this Father's Day I was able to give you a gift. A materialistic gift. Moses hates material things. Like, I really think you hate material things. Like, there's nothing you ever want. I try and buy stuff on my own, and there's just like, you just don't like anything. But you love this gift, and I'm like, oh, I should have had your cup of cappuccino with you from your cappuccino maker.
well, it is from.
Oh, but you put an apple cider mug. Don't you have like a world's best dad mug?
I do. This mug keeps it warm.
Oh,
And
okay.
that one is like a ceramic mug. I didn't think about that part.
Shout out Ray
I would have
Dunn.
brought it just.
You
like,
look just like a dad. He's taking sips of it, and you look just like a dad when you're doing it with your glasses and.
Yeah, I got into my espresso era.
Ooh, very Sabrina Carpenter. It's that me espresso.
Well, I am up all night.
Yeah, that's the perfect song for you right now.
So yeah, I did a lot of research until I found the machine that was the right
You
one.
got a cappuccino. How long did it take you to find that machine?
Over a month.
To find the perfect cappuccino? Does it make the perfect
Well, because I
cappuccino?
dove into a world that I knew nothing about, and it is its own world. There's a whole language everyone uses, and it was interesting. And yeah, it was interesting because I kind of thought I knew what I wanted, and then suddenly I found something else. I was like, wait a minute, this is the one. And it's kind of like the Ferrari of the.
Is it? Do you know what it's
It's-
called? Do you want to give it a shout out? If people
I
are
think it's
looking
called
to get a cappuccino.
Profitec Pro 800 or something like that.
Oh,
The
wow.
thing is that it's manual, like it has an actual like lever. It's like you have to use both arms to pull down the espresso shot.
Oh my, it's hard. Like it's like
And yeah, it's really hard, but it gives you a sweeter espresso, which I like sweet. I don't like bitter things. So you get a sweeter shot and it's perfect. I mean, it's really amazing.
what you had yesterday tasted just like hot chocolate. I was like, this doesn't even taste like a
Well, I like
cappuccino.
mocha. So I put.
What kind of
put a little-
chocolate? Oh, your chocolate, your special
Yeah,
chocolate.
it's like
yeah.
a powder.
Moses has a special chocolate that I think you should put out there to the world. That's what you should put. If you had a branded item because you love chocolate, you should want a chocolate powder because they're you said they're really hard. You're really picky. You don't like the Nesquik. You don't like the Ghirardelli. Like you're very picky. You should put
Don't
out
like
your
Hershey. Yeah.
chocolate. Oh yeah, right. Which everyone loves the Hershey little squirt thing. I love those.
No, that is not chocolate.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's what you should put out for sure. Or if we ever do, I guess your food truck, you could do a little cappuccino maker.
Yeah, with my Italian
Bolognese.
food.
I think the Italian food really is your calling. I think you specialize so much. I think like your pastas are so good. You're so good at making pasta sauces. Not just the bolognese, but just everything. Pasta vodka, baked ziti, lasagna. Like you're kind of good at that.
It's fun. It's fun to do.
I think you should do that. That should be your calling. That or the cappuccino maker. But
Yeah, whenever we have guests, I try to cook, and it's always fun.
every time we've had a guest, you cook this and it like hits
Because that's
every
something
time.
that my mom, I mean, that's like we grew up again. Arabic culture is all about hospitality. So, when somebody shows up, you put out spreads of things and you cook food and you just being a host,
You're so good at it too.
And yeah, and when my mom came and we did that, and she was like, wow, you're really the only one that carried the family tradition of
Yeah.
like being,
She was so impressed. She was like
Mm-hmm.
actually so impressed by it. You made fajitas, I think, one time when she came over, and you said she never had fajitas before, and she was just
No,
like,
it's-
"What
it's
is
so
this?" And I loved seeing her enjoy it because, like, I didn't know. I never like cooking for people because I'm so picky. When I go to other people's houses, like anytime people have cooked for me, I'm just like, "Ooh, I don't know," because I'm so picky. So I was like, I'm scared to like cook for people. But now you've cooked for literally everyone, every side of the family, my mom, my dad, your mom, everyone, and everyone loves it. They're all like, "This is the best."
Yeah,
thing
because I
ever."
mean, like my mom is from Turkey and my dad is like Libya next to Morocco. So Turkish food or Moroccan food, like there's definitely no Mexican food around.
Yeah.
I have no idea what Mexican food is. So it's like, it
The
was
fajitas
interesting.
hit. The fajitas
Yeah.
are good. We should make it. That's like a healthy one for us to eat too. We should do that more often.
I think so.
The fajitas and the
Easy. It's so
quesadillas.
easy.
Ah, it's so good. Yeah, I season the chicken just for everyone to know that I do that. I'm the seasoning
Yeah, the
master.
spices. That's
We
it.
need more tahini. I found out something this morning about. Have you heard of Michello? Michello? It's like a Mexican beer, and they put tahini around the rim.
I know Modelo.
Oh, Modelo?
don't know.
Maybe that's
I
what
mean,
it is. Modelo? Michela.
Like, one of us don't know.
Modelo. Michelada or something. It was something kind of crazy. It was like horchata. It was like Michelada.
Maybe. I don't know.
Michelada maybe. He's doing a Michelada like festival or something like that. I'm like, what's Michelada? I think that's what it is. Not Modelo. That's a beer.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay,
know.
this is like Michelada or something. And it's like, he even has like soy sauce in it. It's like soy sauce beer. And it has like the tahini around it. And anyways.
Yeah, I
shout out to
can see it
my-
because it's like it has lime in it. So I can see it being like that.
It kind of sounded good, actually. It's kind of like, he's like, salsa and beer has it. I'm like, they do. I'm like, I kind of want to try it, actually. Kind of sounded like it. Because
We
we
have to
put the
go back
tahini.
there.
Yeah. Probably not for a while. Because now we have a baby and we can't go to Benihana or salsa and beer because of the smoke.
It is very
It
smoky.
smells smoky. I thought about when we do have a date night, which will probably be a few months from now. I'm like, maybe Benihana should be our date night because I love it so much. And it's just like,
Yeah.
we can't go back to Mastro's after my scene that I caused just being crazy.
You didn't cause a scene.
I caused a scene. It was a
No.
little slip, and I'm just like,
You did not cause a scene. That was unforgettable. Unforgivable.
It's not unfair. It was an accident. It was fine. Oh my gosh. You have a lot of hot
shadows.
tags. We're next.
Moon shadows
No,
is
I'm
where it's gonna
dramatic.
be.
But I love that you always have my back. I love that you always are supportive of me. I was embarrassed the next day. I was like, okay, that was a little dramatic. Yes, an accident
It
happened.
was not. It's
was
everything around you pushed you to that spot because
no, everyone was just
because
trying.
they didn't acknowledge what happened and other people acknowledged it in a different. Like all I'm saying is like
Oh, thanks for having me back. Mose always has my back, but I think I was very dramatic and I could have just been a little more chill about things. But I just need to chill out sometimes. But I also was very pregnant, so I will blame it a little bit on that.
True.
The hormonal. I don't get too like hormonal, but the end of this pregnancy was a little crazy.
It was tough. I mean, it was a lot.
Yeah, it was. But I always enjoy my pregnancy. I do. I like eating it and the bagels, and bagels always cured my thing. Anyways, whole other thing. What are your dreams as a father for our family? Like, it can be like superficial, like going to Bora Bora, or it could be something like, that we all live together in a compound when we're 50 years old.
Which I think will happen. That part.
I want a compound. That sounds so fun. Or a cul-de-sac. My dream. Okay, sorry, I know I asked you the question, but my dream is to get like a cul-de-sac in like the area we live because I love our area so much, and almost like. Well, I don't know if you could do it. I guess you could ask HOA, but almost like block it off so there's like a gate
You
within a
can.
gated.
If you own that cul-de-sac, you can.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The one we do our loop around. It'd be so cool. I mean, there's a golf hole there, so I don't know what we would do about those people, but to just like gate it off and
You can, but you remember when we looked for homes, we found one that was somehow related to the Jackson 5. You remember?
yeah, that's
So that's what they
yes.
did. They closed it off, but there were a few homes at the end of that street, and we looked at one of those.
That would actually be like a perfect one. I don't like the area because it's kind of like whatever and it's kind of small, but that was cool. We looked at Michael Jackson's house where he stayed with his brothers in Encino, and there was like a driveway and there was like 5 different residences, and I think they were different people living there now, but that would be the dream.
Because our goal was like over the years to buy all of them and then have that.
Yeah. Okay, maybe it could still be a possibility. We'll figure it out, the golf course situation, but I would love that, and just have like all our kids, and they can like leave if they want, but they'd always have a house next to us or something, or in our house, wherever they want. But just like your mom and whoever else wants to come, they all have houses. My glam squad could have a house if they wanted to just stay the night or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I think that'd be so much fun.
24/7 glam.
Yeah, before 7 a.m., just, come hang out at the house or something. That'd be fun. Anyways, or our kids, or I don't know. That's a dream. What's your dream? And it could also be philosophical or spiritual.
No, I mean, I've just to see the kids happy and creative and prosper. I like when people are able to be creative, so making something out of nothing. And so it'd be interesting, and if we're part of their life, even better, if we make things together, that'd be fun.
Oh, like what? Like
Artwork, music, whatever it is, it'd be fun, like to
That's a
be
new
able
dream.
to do that.
That might be a new dream unlocked. I think it was Winona and Naomi Judd, I think. No, Winona. There's like the Judd mother and daughter. I think the mother ended up unaliving herself. It was really sad. But I think they were a mother-daughter singing duo. That would be actually so much fun. Mal will probably have all the talent. I'll be that person on America's Got Talent. And they'll be like, ditch the mom. You have the good voice. But you always see the parent trying to like be a part of it or something like that. So maybe that could be our thing.
You'll be Kris Jenner. You'll be Mama Jer.
Yeah, I would love to be, honestly. If they ever want to do entertainment, I definitely want to manage them. I have a feeling they'll probably want to be like a doctor or like something lawyer. And I'll be like, I don't know what to do, but I'll support you. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel, I don't know.
You think creative? I think one's not gonna be creative. I think one's gonna be like a scientist. Like a rocket
But that's still
scientist.
creative. Like I feel like it's a new generation. I don't think there'll be one thing, you know. So I feel like they might sing a little and dance a little and paint a little bit and do, like, you know, I just feel like they'll have
So interesting to know.
more, um yeah, not a single point. They'll have multiple expressions, ways to express themselves and be creative. But I don't know. I think, I mean, looking at the whole situation as a whole, what I see is like when I moved here, I remember thinking, wow, there's people that actually grew up here. Like this, like the dream,
Right.
this is the dreamland, the dream
No.
state, the most amazing everything. And I'm still in shock that I'm able to give my kids the life that I wished for myself as a kid, you
Yeah.
know? So it's like,
Same. I feel that too. Even though we come from different places, obviously, I think the same thing. I think just like having a pool, I was like, wow, my daughter gets to grow up with a pool. That's pretty cool.
so I think it's already, like, it's already there. Like, it's already the foundation and the place. And they grew up in such a beautiful place full of nature and animals. And I don't know, like, it's already it, you know? So
Yeah.
from here on, the foundation is good. And then they just got to find what makes them happy. And I do want to encourage them to kind of be self-sustainable, you know, not like I always worked since I was young, but I enjoyed work and I enjoyed the independence that I had. I never asked money from anyone, including my parents. I never asked anything from anyone. So I always had the independence and strength to do whatever I wanted. And nothing stopped me and nothing was in my way. Even though people wanted to stop me, and definitely from moving to another country, or like there's a lot of barriers that come even from people around you. So I want to give them that independence, that they won't feel that there's any barriers, that there's anyone that's holding them back, or
I think they'll definitely be like that. Because even though we can give them like everything, I think they still will be because I didn't have to work and I didn't want to work, you know, but I love working now and I love like hustling. And people always say, oh, you work so hard and work so hard. But it's like, I kind of just like to do it. You know what I mean? Like I like figuring it
yeah, do
out.
what you love. Like encourage people to do what they love.
I've always loved figuring out how to make money and stuff like that. Like again, not as like a teenager because I was like in school. My parents always thought, okay, if you do good at school, you know, you don't have to work or whatever. I think that's where we a little differentiate too. Is like a difference of parenting. Is like I was like, oh, they should be kids for as long as they want, but I still think they'll have a good work ethic because my parents were like, just do good in school and we'll provide whatever you need. We'll go to the movies, go shopping, whatever. But I still like worked really hard because I was like, and still to this day, I like even like we always talk about this too. Like if we won the lottery, like I still would probably be like making music videos or something. Even better, I'd be doing full
Yeah, and
production
that's the
scales.
thing. They do see us work all the time, so that's why they get the work ethics, you know,
Yeah.
from seeing what we do and how we do it, and
Yeah,
that we put so much care to the work we do, and I think that's important.
I saw another IG reel I sent to my mom, and it's like, you were successful as a parent when your adult children want to spend time with you. And I sent that to my mom because me and my sister are both obsessed with my mom and we want to spend time with her and we both want her to live with us all the time. Like anytime I tell my sister, like, I would love my mom to like live with us, be around for the kid. My sister's like, no, absolutely not. She has to stay with me. Like it's very that. And I feel like that's kind of the sign of like a successful parent is like if your kids still want to be around you even when they don't need you. I think that would be my ultimate success if Malibu and Elvis are still wanting to come to our house to just hang out with us. Like, what are you guys doing? That'd be fun. This is a 73 Vogue question. What is the best part about being a dad?
The best part.
There's an answer I'm looking for. There's a right answer. There's one right answer to this. But give your answer too.
I don't know.
It's kind of a meme.
I mean,
So you can just give you a real answer.
But I don't know. When I just hear Malibu say my name, calls me, and when they give hugs and kisses that you don't even ask for, when she randomly just says like, "I love you,"
It's so cute. Now that she says that, I'm actually like, it makes me cry every single time because it took so long. And she like gets it and understands it. And it's funny because like I'm someone who just says words of affirmation all the time. Moses doesn't really. He's not someone to just say I love you. Like you show it, but you never really say it. And you say it more now, but I always say it. Like it's like a habit for me. I don't know like off the phone. So with Malibu, it's kind of a habit. If she's like, mom, and I'll be like, yes. And I'll be like, she'll be like, Wawa. I was like, okay. I'll be like, I love you. And then she starts saying, I love you too. And then she'll always say it to you right after. And I think it's like the cutest thing ever. And now you say it. And then hearing you say it to her makes my heart so happy because you're not that person to say I love you all the time. So I'm like, oh, that's so cute. And you say it every time back to her. So
You have to.
it makes me so happy because like my dad never said I love you a lot. I know you said you grew up in a house that you guys just didn't say it. A lot of people just don't say it. You can show it, of course, which is just as fine. But it's nice to hear that. I was like, oh, and she's so cute when she says it. She's like, I love you.
Yeah, she's good. She's very intentional. Because she calls me, and then I look at like, yes, and then she says it.
I love you. I know. It's like it's actually the cutest thing ever.
So wait, what's the meme?
Oh, it's Kanye and Kim where she's like, what's the best part about being a mom? And, she's, I don't know what she says, but then they ask Kanye, she says something, just kind of superficial. And then he's like, what's the best part about being a dad? He's like, the kids. And it's like, yeah, that's actually probably the best part. He's kind of sometimes funny. I don't know. That part was funny. I was thinking of the memes.
He's funny.
Yeah, the way he said that was like, because she said there was something else too. There's another meme where she's like, can you guys believe we don't have a jacuzzi? He's like, oh, can you believe we don't have a jacuzzi?
No, he was trolling her that whole interview, I remember.
It was so
he was
funny.
very mischievous.
He is mischievous. It's kind of funny. I guess he's problematic, but he's kind of funny where it was. But I think that's a good success with our family is if we are all still together and wanting to be around each other and stuff like that.
I think so. I mean, we're kind of fun to be around.
We're so fun to be around. I know. I always think about that. I always think of us at like 80 and 90 years old, and I'm just like, I think we'll still be like really fun. It's so cool to see those people that are 90. I always use like Dick Van Dyke as an example. Like he was like on Masked Singer at like 90. I was like, I love that. There's also ones on TikTok too that their mom is like 90. I sent it to my mom, and she like goes on walks every day, and I was like, I love that. Like,
I mean, it would be this odd situation where the parents are more up to what's happening on social media than their kids.
Like, oh, when our kids are adults, they probably want like social media is gonna be so different though. When
Right, but all I'm saying is like, because you always keep up with the new technologies and the new whatever. So it will be interesting because I feel like either they'll fully reject social media and that whole concept or fully embrace it, right?
I like both options.
So it's gonna be one of the two. So it's gonna be interesting. But either way, it's like I feel like you'll still be, on top of the hot topics and
For sure. I think I'll be a cool mom for sure.
So it'd be a very different because I know people that grew up and their parents were like they were kind of timeless, like you never felt their age
Right.
because they were up with the time. Like the grandfather was like 80 and he was like on his iPad knowing everything that's going on.
I love
like before that I knew even certain sites and things how to do, and so
That'll be interesting because my dad was always up on technology, but he did fall off at some point because he always had he had a cell phone in like 1981, before anyone else did. We had the internet in our house before anyone else did. Like it was super slow and dial up, but like we were like always on like the cutting edge of technology. And now he's just so like confused by all of it. So he's like, how do you announce that you had a baby? And this is like I can't even explain Instagram to him. So it would be interesting to see. But yeah, I like to think of myself as always keeping up. Although I also like the idea too of like in my like 60s, just like, I don't know, just kind of, I don't know. I think I would like to keep up too much. Sometimes I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool to like disappear or something. But even that one week we were off social media, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's I kind of miss it.
do I still exist if I don't? Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting. It is interesting. I think because I like lived my whole life online. I saw Truman Show came out 26 years ago, and I was kind of feel like I've lived my whole life online as an adult.
It's the closest thing to it.
Yeah, like getting married and falling in love and having babies. Like it's very Truman Show.
Yeah, sometimes I forget that our entire life together since we met is kind of documented.
It is weird.
Somehow.
It's so weird, but like I can't even imagine not, like you said, did it even happen if you don't share it on social media when people like don't post about their, I don't know. And that's so warped because I know everyone watching and be like, that's not relatable at all, but I don't know. I like
because I mean, so many couples, we meet them and we have no idea how they met, what happened in the beginning, the ups and downs, and you just don't know any of that.
Yeah, probably better,
or
I
what
guess.
they were like before and after and how. So it is wild.
Yeah, because we're reminded of everything from the beginning. It's like people will never let you forget anything, which is, for better or worse, I guess. But
I'm mostly looking at the good things, but it's just, me before us getting together, you before, like.
Right.
And the after.
But it's almost like the you before me is that weird? That's what I'm saying. It's like it wasn't documented online. So it's like, did you even exist?
Some is documented.
Really? Like your life, like your personal life online?
Well, not personal life, I guess, but there is a life, like
Yeah. I feel like with me, you can just see me at like 18, 19.
because I think
20.
as an artist, I've always created art, so I do have a trace going back to a child. I have all the
Yeah.
artwork since I was a child, and a lot of it when there was social media is online.
That I would like to see. I would like to see like your childhood art.
So there's lots of things all the way back, like I talked about, from Flickr, Vimeo, Facebook, Instagram. Like
I
there
haven't
is
seen that. I haven't seen any
there
of your
is
stuff.
like this like trail of, but it's mostly my point of view because I used to love photography. So it's like mostly how things that I looked at and did, not so much the camera looking back at me, but it is still there.
But that's what I love. I love it when like someone else is interviewing you, like the Where Are the Pixels ones. Like it's just because you're so like focused and serious in your work. Like there's one of you just like moving these giant pieces of art, and it's just like you're like ignoring the interviewer or whoever's filming you. And I'm like, it's such an interesting. Like who is that person? You know what I mean? Like you're not taking time. You're literally just like, I gotta get these huge pieces of art out, and like it's just so
We have
funny.
a timeline, we have a deadline.
It's so yeah, it's funny to see. Or I think when you're in college, you're like on a boat with people, and you're like, I don't know, doing some art project on a boat. What was it, like a Save the Whales project or something with plastic bottles?
Yeah, it was about the plastic patch. It's like the size of Texas in the ocean. There's like a big.
But I don't understand. Were you guys putting plastic in the ocean to show the point, to demonstrate your point?
No, we created this kind of like, it almost looked like this. So it's like the patch became sentient and now it's alive and it reached the shores of Santa Monica. So it looked like this big jellyfish. And
But what
had
was it made
lights
out
in it.
of?
It was made out of plastic, but we didn't leave it in.
So
We
you
didn't
put
leave it in the
plastic
ocean.
I
We
remember
didn't leave
thinking
it
that. I was
there.
like, that's odd, interesting.
No, but we didn't leave it there. It was all recycled stuff that was going anyway to the trash. But
Why did
but
you make
yeah.
it out of like a biodegradable thing or something?
no, because we didn't want to leave it in the ocean or have it dissolve into the ocean.
Oh, okay.
It was
I always thought that was so funny. I was like, I don't know what that is, but that's funny. And I like looking at those glimpses of your life. I think it's so interesting because I know what you're saying. It's like giving you a trail. I wish you would have vlogged at like 19, 20 because I would have loved to have seen what you were like then. I don't know. Been cool to like know more
I
about
totally
you.
would have if I knew that was a thing. Like like the idea of a YouTuber. But I think I was so focused on my art. I was so focused on the work that I was doing that anything else looked like a distraction.
Interesting.
So that's probably. But had I, if I had the platform to communicate and talk about what I was doing, I would probably do that.
And like tell people because you were like private, but
Communicate about it. Like no, but I love talking about the thing itself, not about myself so much. So
interesting because
I
you're
would.
good at talking about your life and your stories. I think everyone should talk about themselves because I think people can learn so much from everybody's past, but specifically you because I just think you have a lot of knowledge and wisdom to share with people. For the most part, you have some hot takes, but you have some hot takes
Try.
sometimes. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, it's okay.
it's
Everyone
okay.
does.
How do you think you can find balance now, being a dad of two, being a husband? Because you really are family is priority. But it's like, I hope for you, when I met you, you had, a book that you were about to put out. It was pretty much done. You just had to like publish it. And you used to publish books on your own. Like, where do you think you'll ever find a balance? Like, you were working on your water museum, like, which I think you should still do again. Like, how do you think you'll find your balance and when of getting back to also you? Like, I get a lot of me time.
Yeah, but I enjoy what I do, so it's like I enjoy what I do now. You know what I mean? So I would rather spend time with Malibu and Elvis than work on my book.
Really? Like, not
So
even like an hour you think to take. Like, I go do my nails for an hour. I get my hair done for a few hours. Like,
yeah, but for me, for example, working on the book is like full. Like I immerse myself in that space.
okay.
Like I enter that world
No
that I write
balance.
about, and I'm inside of it, and I write about it. So I'm kind of savoring that experience and that project to the right time because I love it so much, enjoy it so much. I don't want to do it like 1 hour here and there. And also I think that project is somewhat, it's a book both for kids and adults, but I want to get to a point where at least Malibu is old enough to understand and participate and almost be like my test audience, right?
Mm.
Like somebody that can balance it all, bounce it off, and so to me that's worth waiting too, so she can kind of participate in it.
Okay.
And I don't know. My first goal is once she's able to be out with me, kind of more like to start gardening more with her.
Okay.
So like gardening is the first thing I want to do more, and it'd be even more fun, with the girls outside. Like, and I think she likes it. She already likes flowers, watering things, so she'll enjoy it.
Okay, so you think your balance is like incorporating them into the stuff that you like too.
Yes, definitely now in this until they want to be part of that. And
Yeah.
that's fine too. And then
That's always hard. Yeah, it's interesting because like I always think that too. I'm like, okay, the things I enjoy is really working, like doing the podcast. I love doing that. And I love doing obviously like photo shoots and like music videos. And I always just think like, I wanted to do that stuff again, but I'm like, it would be fun if they were like into it. You know what I mean? Like if she wanted to sing or be in a music video or something like that, performing. Because I love dancing with her. Like I love dancing with her. When my dad was here, we were showing them how we do this like little twist and stuff like that. And it's like so much fun just to
yeah, and
do it with someone.
they might surprise you. You never know what angle it's going to come from. They might
Yeah.
want to do a set design for it. They might want to be the photographer. They might want, like, you
Yeah.
never know what angle. That's what I'm saying. When somebody's creative, they just enjoy being creative, and there's always something for them to do on a set. That's why I've been always on sets throughout my career in different forms, in different ways.
And now you built this one.
And now we have, yeah.
You built this whole studio, which is actually like the craziest thing in the whole world. I think it's like the ultimate love language is like like one day we'll have to do like a full tour. I mean, we kind of did on our Patreon, but like everything you set up here, everything that this podcast is like you really just built it. Like it's really amazing how the set design, the chairs, the walls, like it's crazy.
Yeah, and it's even more fun when you do it for yourself. So it's like,
Yeah. Oh yeah, we talked about that too. How it's like you kind of did all these like jobs where you like helped other people achieve like everything, like whatever they needed done, you kind of just did. Now you kind of do it for our family. And it's like cool. And I always am like, does it feel like work though? Because you did it as a job. Does it feel like work when you have to do?
no, because I always enjoy it. I love designing and making stuff. So it's even more fun when I get to actually enjoy the things I design.
When we see those like AI, of kids' rooms, like those like, I didn't know it was AI. Did you? Those like, those castles
Some
where it's
do,
like
some
this,
don't. Yeah.
'Cause I
mean,
showed-
the big ones, yeah.
I was showing my glam people. I'm like, oh, I want to do this. Like, I think that's AI. And I was like, oh, but I'm like, I feel like you could, even the closet I sent you, I was like,
But
ooh,
it's possible, even though it's AI, it's possible. It's not that it's just expensive. That's
oh my God,
the
there's
only thing
one.
it comes down to.
There's like a 2-story bedroom for them, and they have like castles and the beds and the stairs. I was like, oh, that'd be so cool. I just think that kind of stuff is like the best.
The lottery level.
For sure. That guy bought my ticket for
Spend
tonight.
$100,000 on,
Oh, is that it? I mean, that's not little, but that doesn't
for
seem like
kids' room, yeah, because it's not that big, but it's a lot of custom work.
work, and it has to have the 2-bedroom anyways and everything. I think that'd be like so fun. I don't know, so many dreams and ideas. But what do you think is the for families? What is the most fun to have? We talk about like lottery and financial blessings, but what do you think is like the funnest thing we do that doesn't cost any money? Like, what's the most fun we have as a family that's or inexpensive or doesn't cost a lot or?
Yeah, because I mean, we actually don't really spend that much money on on like our leisure time, like the time that we just enjoy being together. And
We haven't spent any money as of late.
yeah, I
We've
mean,
been saving.
I think it's just being able to. I don't know. I love when we're just in the playroom all together, and then we get food and we eat and we watch a TV show and we sing and dance. I think we just haven't got there yet because it hasn't been warm enough. But pool days when we're just go to the pool and eat watermelon and then showers and everyone exhausted and naps and just that the simple life.
We did that the other day. We were like I think we were like all in bed or something. And it was just so nice. Before Elvis was born, I remember there was times where we'd just all be in bed at like 5 o'clock at night or whatever when it was starting to get dark, early. And we just like order pizza, and it was so wonderful. I remember Moses would go down and get the pizza, and it was just like pizza being delivered to the bed. And Malibu was in bed with me, and I'm like, I wonder what she thinks. Like, oh, pizza just gets delivered to the bed. She really knows the pizza now. Like, she'll say pizza, because she goes out with you to get the pizza.
Or she would say, she was kind of telling me like to go to the door and get a pizza.
But what made her think that?
Like, she thinks, because that's what we do. We open the door, we walk outside, and there's somebody with a pizza there.
We only get pizza once a week for everyone.
So she probably thinks he's always there. That's
go
how
get
kids,
the pizza.
That's how kids think. There's always pizza out there. You just need to go and grab it.
She said that the other day too. She's like, pizza. And I was like, oh, well, if you want some, okay.
Yeah, it's a simple mind of kids.
We only do the pizza. I can't wait for our pizza on Saturday night. I'm eating healthy throughout the week to have that pizza on Saturday night.
Yeah, and pizza is not that bad.
270 calories for a Brooklyn style from Domino's for one piece. And they're big pieces, so. Not so bad. Yeah, I think there's actually so much joy in like just being with family. Like that's what I said in like my vlog too, is like I really enjoyed that week we weren't on social media. I kind of really enjoyed, and I said this the other day too, just our days are very simple now because we have the newborn, and where it's just like I'm in bed the first half of the morning with her, with Elvis, and usually Malibu's in there too, and then you guys will either play hide and seek in the room and then eventually go down to the playroom for like an hour, but then we all go out to like lunch as like a family. Then there's usually nap time, and then we were watching Bridgerton, and then Malibu gets up and we go to the playroom or go outside with her, and then we just kind of watch TV. She plays in the playroom, or we watch The Voice or whatever, and it's just like very simple. We do bath time. All of us were in the bath time yesterday. We were all there after our walks, and it's just like, I don't know, I kind of like it. The walks was great. Yesterday was like a perfect day,
Yeah.
Went to the lake.
Adding the walks now is a big
It's wonderful.
element to it, because to me it's like it's always important to go outside. Like there's something when you're always inside the house that gets a little not claustrophobic, but it just gets a little bit. You need that fresh air. You need the connection to the outside, the
Yes.
connection to the trees and the birds. Like you just feel a certain reset. So I always try to give it to Malibu too. Like I always
Of course, yeah.
we go outside, we play, we do a little bit of things, changing scenery, changing.
And it's hard because, the first 3 months of a newborn, like our pediatrician recommended, like obviously not taking her classes because, you get so many germs and stuff like that. So she had her classes, and it's like she doesn't really get that right now. Like hopefully in a couple months she'll go back to it. But it's nice to just like get out and like go to the lake and see the birds, or, go on a walk. And she loves airplanes and seeing airplanes or whatever. Should take her to the airport, the one where they like, well, I guess it's too loud for them now, but like, where they like the airplanes fly over.
Yeah.
I always think that's so cool. I always thought that was like, even as an adult, I was like, oh, that's so cool, because when they're a little older, I guess you could put earphones on them. I always wonder too, like when we can take them to concerts, like when can I take her to see Donny Osmond? You know what I mean? Like, is that 2? Is that 3?
He's pretty wild, Donnie.
She really loved his show. You know what I
think
mean?
So.
I
It's
feel
very,
like,
it's very colorful and
or maybe more Disney on Ice.
almost kid oriented a bit too, because he was a star child, and there's a lot of elements in the show from his early.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if Donny Osmond would be her first show, but maybe like Disney on Ice.
Well, he did commented Elvis is in the building.
That's true. Okay, we'll take her to go see Uncle Donnie.
Nice.
He's kind of been with us throughout the journey
Yeah.
of us like trying to have our second baby, to going and winning the costume during our second pregnancy. We love Donny Osmond. But I think, yeah, we could take her to shows maybe at like 3 or something. I love shows like that.
Well, there's
my
shows
favorite
for
thing.
kids, so there's definitely shows we can take them for kids.
Coco Melon Live.
And I think that's one thing I always surprise is all the shows, all the characters that are like supposed to be like little and their size are like huge. And I notice like every time like they get scared or they get, like Easter Bunny, like the bunny is huge. Like why is the bunny not their
Tiny.
size? Like they show up and there's a bunny their size.
Yeah,
There's
that would
something
make
very
more
odd.
sense. Yes. There's plenty of adult performers who could like be in a bunny costume like that are shorter in
That
height.
size or use kids or whatever, but
Maybe
it's
not
just-
kids. I mean, we're going to put kids in a bunny costume all day to say hi to the other kids. That would be weird.
if that's what they want to do.
I think that probably the adults probably are better at it. But yeah, I agree with that because the Coco Melons are so big. We've seen them like they're on tour or something and they're so big.
Looked
And she knows all of them. She knows Cody and Cece and Tom Tom. And I was like,
Yo-Yo
wow.
and-
Yo-Yo.
yeah.
Every night when we sit down to watch TV, she goes, Coco. Because we watch Coco throughout the whole day, but at nighttime, no Coco. And we're like, he's sleeping. She's like, Tom Tom. He's sleeping too. Cody.
Yeah. And she doesn't watch a lot of TV. She's like not.
Usually in the morning we let her.
It's more like she has to turn it on, but then she quickly
Yeah.
moves on. Like we do spend most of the time
It's her waking up.
either like drawing or I think it's like a communication thing. Once she could communicate it, she got excited about being able to say TV and we understand what she wants and we turn it on. Like a lot of those things are just like
Yeah, like she'll say eat, but she don't want to eat. She just wants to like go
Yeah.
to the kitchen or something like that.
Something.
So draw is going to the playroom. So it's kind of that same vibe.
she has
But
a very
I think it's her first thing when she wakes up, tea. I think that's just her instinct to like be like, turn
Yeah.
it on. We usually wait a while. I usually turn it on now so you can get some extra sleep in the morning because she's like, wants to see you right away. She loves
she
waking
won't
us
let
up.
me sleep.
She's like, pull it back open.
Pull the blanket, tap on my shoulder.
So what are we doing for Father's Day? It's like weird because
Oh.
my dad's not in town this Father's Day, so it's like okay, so it's actually just us, and what are we gonna do?
Well, if the weather is good, maybe that will be our beginning of pool days, Get
oh,
the
okay,
pool going,
that's simple.
Get the grill going, get
Ooh.
some watermelons, get some.
So weird you brought that up. Oh my god, that was one of my hot topics. So it's gonna be. I don't know if it is gonna be for this week. Probably not. Well, we can talk about it now. There was a guy. They're called the Unplanned Podcast. It's Matt and Abby. I talk about them all the time, but I feel like you haven't seen them. It's like a young couple that has a podcast, and they have some hot takes. I think they have hot takes to go viral. I think they say kind of crazy stuff. But this one was crazy because he was being serious. It's the guy that wrote the song about being depressed postpartum and like whatever. But just basically like I didn't want this life. Like this, I'm not happy. It doesn't. I look happy, but I'm not like that kind of.
Yeah, like I have everything, but I'm not happy. Like,
Yeah.
oops.
Yeah. It's kind of, anyways. So he was talking about how his birthday falls on Father's Day. So they're canceling Father's Day. He's like, we're not celebrating this year because it's my birthday. And last year you combined the two holidays. He told his wife, he's like, you did Father's Day and my birthday. And he's like, I let you pass because it's like you were pregnant, but like that wasn't cool, whatever. And he said, and not only that, I had to grill on that day. Like I grilled for Father's Day on my birthday. So he was just like so annoyed about it. And she was like, yeah, I'm sorry. Like, this year we won't do it. We'll just do your birthday or something like that. And it's so funny he said he wanted to grill because I was like, that I didn't think about that for Father's Day. It's like a lot of people do grill, but like, do fathers want to grill? Do they want a special day? Like we went to Malibu Ranch and got like pampered and gifts. I'm like, do dads want that? But then you just said you wanted to grill and go.
Yeah, because I enjoy that more. Like, I don't know, like whenever I cook food for you guys and especially like if Malibu, I don't know, like, because she's more aware of it. But if I cook something for her, like she sees that I'm making it,
right. So
it's more exciting to me. It's more exciting to her and learning. I don't know. She can learn that she can grill and cook and make food and.
So interesting.
It's
That's
kind
so
of
funny you said that because I was just like, oh, that's so weird. That guy was so annoyed.
Yeah, but he seems to be a
He's young.
little drama.
I guess again, it goes maybe with age or something like that. Because
I mean, some people are just, I don't know, it's a type of laziness. They want to do nothing as a reward for something.
I think he wanted to just be more celebrated for him for his birthday rather than cooking for everyone on his Father's Day. Father's Day is a weird one. It's too close to Mother's Day. I think they should be separated a little bit more. But it is a weird one because it's like,
I know it more as Family Day. I don't really know it as Father's Day.
yeah, even Mother's Day, I think a lot of moms were like, this day should just be for us to do what we want. And I was like, well, but I'm all for that, especially on your birthday. Okay, do what you want. But I'm like, done to Mother's Day, don't you want to be like, you want to go out with your kids so people are like,
in
happy
relationship
Mother's
to the
Day.
family. Yeah, it's in relationship to the family.
Like you see my kids, you see I'm
Otherwise,
pregnant.
they think you're just a single woman without
No,
kids.
for
and
sure.
they're like,
I feel like I went so long being single and like on Mother's Day, it's like, okay, no one said a happy Mother's Day to me. And now it's like, I would like to get all the acclimates for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, thank you. I'm a mother. I saw that our lake spot had a Father's Day brunch, but if you're down for cooking, I love grilling too. I
it's
can't go
more
in
the pool. So if
can't
the
do it
weather
when-
is good, then
I won't be able to go in with my C-section.
no, but you can lounge,
Okay. Me and Elvis.
get your drinks, your watermelon, the food.
That's true. I guess I
Some
do a kiddie
suntan,
pool
I
like
don't know.
low. Not.
Well,
my
that's the thing.
business.
Is we want to blow up the big one we got
Okay.
for Malibu, so you can sit in that one.
Okay. Just sit there.
You
I
can sit
like
in the
it.
kiddie pool.
I love that. I got the new hats. That'd be cute. Okay, I like that. That's very simple.
Yeah, because it's more enjoyable when it's simple. There's less loading and offloading and
That's true.
people and packing.
Oh, I
and,
know. I feel so bad.
You know what I mean?
But we're so lucky. I shout out to all the dads out there who do all that stuff, who unload and load, and you do the bags, you do the car seats. It's really nice. I guess I'm spoiled where I'm just like, God, being married is like the best thing ever. It's like made my life easier. But I do feel for all the moms out there who like have a husband who's like a man child and like doesn't do anything and they have to like take care of everybody. That would suck. And then that's why a lot of moms are like, or just wives are like, oh, I'm so much happier divorced because it's like it's so much easier. I don't have to take care of like another like adult
Yeah.
child.
Yeah, if your man replaced his mom with you, I'm sorry for you.
I guess I never attracted that because I never had that maternal like energy, so I never attracted those kind of men. Thank God. I mean, I just had the, like,
I mean,
awful.
they show up and they try, and they just you
Yeah.
probably were like,
No, I'm not cooking. Anyone who was like, "Can you cook?" I was like, "No." I only ever cooked for you, actually.
But mostly it's not even you have, but mostly it's not even.
I did a lot.
It's not really the cooking aspect. It's usually more emotional.
Right.
They want the
coddled.
woman to be there as the what the mom did for them, including being judgy and awful. But it's not just all good. And
I need to be more like that for you, especially when you're sick. I'm so bad at it. Like, I'm just so bad. Like, I need to be more. I'm like, I can Postmate soup, but I don't know what else to do. I wish I could. You're like, I can home make you soup. I'm like, okay. You're like, still now, like, if I'm trying to diet, so you'll be like making the eggs and peeling them and cutting my grapefruit. I'm like, I can do that. And you're like, you still do it for me. It's, I guess, the opposite. Maybe you attracted. I feel like I'm more like your dad in this scenario. Maybe I was more like the narcissist and stuff like that when you first met me. I always feel that. And I always feel like maybe you were attracted to me because it was like the dad vibes. I gave your dad energy. Because I was kind of like that. The way you describe your dad, like before I got myself together, I was kind of like, thought the world like revolved around me and like everyone was out to get me and everything everyone did was, to spite me. So when you said that kind of stuff, I was like, maybe that's why you were attracted to me.
no, but I think that's a very common trait. Like a lot of people are.
I had anger issues. Like the way you describe your dad, I was like, it's kind of like me, I guess. People were scared of me online because I was so like snappy and stuff. You know what I mean? Like it was this kind of control or power because people are like, oh my God, Trish, don't talk about her, which is not a good thing. I'm not proud
No, I
of
think
it.
if anything, it's the other way around. It's because of that I'm not afraid that.
That's true. That's what I'm saying. You weren't afraid of me, but
yeah, but it's not. But that's not the
but you weren't afraid of your
attraction.
dad.
Yeah, but that's not the attraction part. It's more that's why you liked me because I wasn't afraid of you.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Because if a guy shows up and is like scared, then you're like, okay, go back to your mama.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know the whole science behind it, but sometimes when you describe your dad, I'm like, that was kind of like me when I first met you. I was a little
No, I think he just gave me tools, but I don't think that's a attraction thing.
interesting.
It's more like ability of
Yeah.
tools to handle certain aspects of a person.
Well, I think I were a great match. I got lucky with you because I'm like, God, my life is 1,000 times easier since we've gotten married. Everything's so easy and wonderful. But maybe for you, you just took on so much more
No, I
responsibility.
get lucky too because I'm not. First of all, I'm not afraid of work, or it's not. It's not hard, but life is so much more full and exciting and fun, and of course, and a family. Like we actually have a family, and that's why in the past there was no relationships that continued because there was no prospect of having a family, and that's what I wanted. So I think we're both lucky, and we just complement each other perfectly because the things you think are hard for me are easy,
Yeah.
and the things that look for me hard for you are easy. So
Good at entertainment. I have a whole plan for our family's years. I'm like, okay, for birthdays this, for your birthday this, for my birthday this, for okay, we go on vacation in January, not in the summer when everyone else goes, because January it's more cost effective. It's not as crowded. Summer everyone's crowded. We stay home at the pool. Our birthdays we do our hotel getaways with our kids, but then their birthdays is birthday parties because we like to put on a thing. Obviously Christmas is like holiday cards. Halloween I'm already thinking about the costume because now that Father's Day is coming to an end, and we just did, even though it hasn't even started yet, we did our photo shoot for Father's Day. I'm like, okay, the next thing is Halloween. So I'm like, okay, we get the costumes around. Do we do a set? Are we going to trick or treat in these same costumes? Do we have different costumes for trick or treating? Like, it's a
if
whole.
it was up to me, none of that would have even happened.
But that's why I hope the girls will like it one day. Because if they don't, it's fine. Like I know there's kids that like hate doing photo shoots now, and I was just like, okay, if they don't like doing it, it's fine. But I hope one day. I love dressing up
I
as
think
a
they'll
kid.
just get used to it. I don't think it's about like. I think they'll just be like, this is what we do.
No, but I think
think-
they'll like it. Like I love doing glamour shots. I love getting dressed up. I
Right.
love doing makeup. So
All I'm saying is like I wouldn't worry of them not liking it, but
no, they don't.
but
They don't hate
I think
it.
that's the smallest part of it. Like most of it we have fun. Like all the stuff you described,
Yeah,
you know.
I hope so. like Disneyland trips. I'm like, ooh, I'm like, even this year, I was like, ooh, could we try and like maybe go to the Halloween one? Because Malibu can walk around, trick or treat, and get candy. We could push Elvis, or have my mom stay with her in the room or something like that. Like, I don't know. I just want to do so many like exciting things with them that are like fun that I'm like,
Yeah, it is itching, like taking Malibu to Disneyland.
I know. I was like, because she's totally happy. Like, just we haven't even done the pool days yet, really, but she's totally happy just what we're doing. But it's like, God, I just once we get that elevation, we love going to the lake. Though she loves chasing the ducks and the birds and stuff. And I like, to me, again, watching a child just be that happy chasing bubbles is like the best thing in the whole world. I'm like, the simplicity. So I guess we can wait a little bit without trying to get too complicated. But I already sent Moses the Tokyo. I'm like, it's actually cheaper to fly to Tokyo and buy a Disney ticket there than it is to go here. Like, there's so many. Our photographer today told me that she's just came back from Japan for like 2 weeks, and she said how is it the yen? The yen. The yen like is like so cheap, like to American dollars. Like, it's actually like you can get so much food and so much.
Interesting.
And she said the Tokyo Sea was like $40, $40 US, which is like unheard of here. So
it's my favorite food in the world.
She said it was amazing. She was like, I saw you get sushi yesterday. She goes, oh my God, if you like sushi, that I'm like, oh, Moses. That's been both of our.
I would be coming back will be so hard.
Well, we'll go for like 2 weeks, and that was both of our kind of like dream destinations that neither one of us had been to.
I was planning to go before we met. Yeah.
Same. And so I feel like together, I saw something like keeping marriages exciting or families exciting is like going to new places together that you've never been before. Because there's some places I want to go to Bora Bora, but I've been there before. It's like it'd be cool to go to like a new place together. Yeah. So like Tokyo
there's
would be.
There's so many because I haven't gone too many.
Yeah, which is like so crazy. I'm like, I haven't either. I think I had like a year of like traveling, but it didn't go too many places. So it would be fun to do all those things together. But I think Tokyo might be on the top of our list.
Yes.
And when the kids are, at least maybe can walk and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it'd be fun. They love rice. Malibu loves rice. She's a rice baby for sure. She loves her rice, and maybe she'll love sushi, like the shrimp tempura. I liked our sushi yesterday. I would actually go back. Like, I liked the roll if it was the roll I liked. Yeah. Yeah. We got a sushi boat, but some of it had raw fish. I like the cooked stuff in it. So Father's Day, okay, we're going to grill. Okay, I like that. That's cute.
Yeah, I can't wait to warm up the pool. And
oh, I love that. That makes it so simple then. Okay.
Yeah, it can be simple.
Father's Day.
Fathers are.
Happy Father. Oh my God, it's crazy. Each Father's Day since we've met. First Father's Day, we went with my dad. Second Father's Day, I was pregnant. Third Father's Day, we had Malibu. And now fourth Father's Day is
another baby.
Elvis. Oh my God. Well, let's not keep this trend going. And next Father's Day.
We're like,
just another pregnancy. I'm
making
still,
babies.
I can't feel. Well, making babies is fun. Raising babies is fun too. Honestly, whatever. Okay, who cares? Let's have a third. No, it is interesting. I guess that's part of being. I get why people just have kids, though. I get why people just keep having kids because it's
addictive. It's also like you never know what you're gonna get. It's like what they look like, what their character is like. It's like.
Right, but we kind of did a cut and paste with Elvis with Malibu. They're kind of
They seem to be identical, but we'll see. I mean,
their personality.
No, visually still they'll change. Like they can change a bit different, but they have the same even birthmark, the same toes, the same hands, the same everything.
Expressions. So. And now we're putting her in Malibu's onesies because, like, why not? I'm all about that. Like, and my sister says she loved all my hands. To this day, my sister's still like, I love when you give me your clothes. She liked it as a kid. She loved it as an adult. She's like, yeah, I actually really like when I get your clothes. So anyways, we did that with, it just makes sense for babies because they grow so fast. So we did that with Elvis. She's wearing Malibu's onesies and it's like so deja vu.
I don't actually care about it now, fashion-wise.
No. Yeah, even Malibu's kind of a fashion baby, but I like the outfits that she puts on. She's always kind of like just whatever. Just the hat and the pink skirts. And
that she gets from you, definitely, because I cannot stand having anything on me. So
she likes
she would. She'll put a hat, glasses, and
she liked the ring today, putting ring. She has like fake makeup that she puts on in the mirror every morning.
That's too much. Yeah, that's so funny.
Crazy because I don't even put makeup on myself. I just like maybe the glam she sees and she knows.
She'll go in front of the mirror with the lipstick and
It's so weird because like she really doesn't sit down in the glam like that with me. So it's like the fact that she sees that. And when I go get my makeup done, she goes, Mama, makeup? And I'm like, yeah. Well, so everyone always, my least favorite thing as a parent is when people are like, just wait, just wait. And I think people like really love to like scare people. Like everyone was telling us like the 1 to 2. And like, again, I get it. She's a newborn and like newborn stage is like so easy. But transitioning from 1 to 2, I've already kind of said mine. I said transitioning from 0 to 1 was harder for me. Like no kids to 1 kid.
Yeah.
What do you think about transitioning 1 to 2?
No, 0 to 1 is harder because it's unknown. You go into a completely different world and completely unknown territory. Now you go into a known territory. You just need to manage it better because you have a toddler running around, and you also have to manage their emotions around having a new baby. So
But
I
it's
think,
not something to be scared of. Like, I feel like people really try to like scare us, or not even intentionally, like TikToks, you know what I mean? Would be like, oh,
no,
like,
people do, and it's so wrong. I mean, people always try to scare you, and always like, "Oh, just wait, just wait." And I was like, "Well, maybe that was you. You know, maybe it's not the kids. It's you."
that's true. Because people would say that about the toddler, like, wait till they're toddler stages. But I love this stage of Malibu. And granted, again, I know she's not
Yeah,
3, but it's like, I don't know. I kind of live for every stage. And I like the stage now of them. And I will say, like, newborn stage, appreciate it because they kind of are just kind of peaceful. And, oh, for them, our babies, I guess. I mean, there are some that are
yeah,
like,
because it's all until they start moving around.
yeah.
It's like it's very simple, and if they eat well, and I find that most issues are around food. Babies usually they're hungry, so they're crying, and that's really what it comes down to. And so if they can eat well and it's easy for them to digest and everything, then you're lucky, and it's gonna be easy. You just keep them fed. But
It's a good rule for everybody.
there's just too many parents that maybe they stress their own kids, and their kids are stressed, or they're angry with their kids, or whatever is happening in the house. Everyone trigger each other. So it's like, so yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I think we're lucky. We work from home. We spend enough time with our kids. They feel good, about their time with us, so they're not anxious about it. And I think when kids don't have enough time with their parents, they start acting out, and they start doing things to get the parents' attention,
Mm-hmm.
and and then it start becoming difficult. You want to go to work, and suddenly they'll do everything they can to stop you from going to work, or you are at work and you get a phone call, you need to come immediately because
Yeah.
it's it's tough and it's hard, and we're just lucky that we work from home and we have time with the kids. So
Just come down the stairs. We have to just go up if we need to get called.
but
And that's, oh, I'm so thankful for that. I do gratitude all the time. And I'm so thankful that we have a job from our house. We both do together. It's kind of, and like I said, it's fun. To me, it's like, this is my hobby. To me, this is fun. This is like, it's work, but it's also like, I don't know. I always feel like we're on like now I just feel like this is our date night. You know what I mean? Because like we're just talking to each
yeah,
other. Or when we do the hot topics and stuff like that, it's like, to me,
yeah,
it's
it's
fun. I get to talk
social
to
hour,
Oscar.
or you
Yeah.
get to meet new people and interview them, and yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I'm like that's the thing I'm most thankful for sure. Obviously, you're number one on that list, kids, and then having that job and that we get to be with them all the time. And who knows,
Yeah,
one day it might be just Trish and Malibu, just Trish, Malibu, and Elvis,
definitely possible. I mean,
Malibu Barbie.
I think she'll have a lot to say.
Oh gosh, I know when they actually like start talking fully, I was just like, oh my god, kids are so honest too. They'll be saying everything. Yeah.
Brutally honest.
Like, actually, mommy, when you do this, like, oh my gosh. And but I'm so excited for that. I cannot wait to hear her thoughts. Like, she shares them, but she's very whatever, but just like her full thoughts and what she's thinking. Because I always think that sometimes I'm like, okay, what is she thinking?
Yeah, no, she's identified things, and it's so interesting because
Mm,
she's like, we're at the bookstore, and she sees another kid and their dad, and she's like, that's a dad,
yeah.
like she realized that somebody else's dad,
Hmm.
and then she looks at me and she's like, me dad, like my
Yeah.
dad. Like it's so interesting how they perceive things and develop on their own, like without telling her anything. I don't know. It's just fun. It's fun to watch a human being form from zero to
Hmm.
a fully grown human being.
And the stages, it's just they all happen so quickly and so fast. And as everyone says, is like the person that sees Candy is like, oh my God, enjoy that time. My daughter's 16 and I wish I could go back to that. So it's like everyone, that's the one thing everyone does say. And it's like, okay, I really take that to heart. It's like,
Yeah.
and just being the present in general. I think with us too, it's like I always think back to when we first met. Oh my God, I wish I could have enjoyed it more when it was just us two. Not that I didn't, because we were quarantined and we did enjoy it, but I was like, God, the stuff that I was like worried about or thought about then, I'm like, I wish I could have just enjoyed.
Yeah. And when the kids are grown, we'll have the rest of our lives. That's just us.
And I will appreciate it too. Like I said, that's why I appreciate the time in the hospital where it's like 9 hours of just us, where we used to be able to do that. And I would just, I don't know. I appreciate it though. Like when we look back at quarantine, I was like, oh, it's kind of fun, our little sushi nights, our jacuzzi
We were
nights.
lucky. I mean, the world was going down the drain, and we had fun the whole time.
And we talked. I remember we talked so much that first couple weeks of quarantine. I remember we just talked for like hours in my white couch, just literally from sunrise to sunset. It was just like talking and
Yeah, the
asking
world was
questions.
shut down. There was nothing else, just us.
It was so nice. It was so fun. So yeah, that's one thing I learned is to be present, and I'm trying. I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job of it now. Like I love, like I said, just the simple walks or lunches or bed together in the morning, bed together at night. Like
No, now it seems to be the opposite of the previous with Malibu, the postpartum depression. Now it's an opposite
oh yeah, where I'm just like I need to just be as
effect
present.
of that.
Yeah, and it sucks, but I guess it's like part of it. You know what I mean? And if anything, yeah, it's like definitely made me a better mom to Elvis, and now also Malibu, just to be like, I'm not gonna miss out on anything else again. And when I do get sad, I mean, not at all. Different people postpartum, different people, deal with it. But when I do get sad, I really do have to remind myself, like, okay, like, I guess for me, I'm just like, I need to go down. Let me just go down and be with like Malibu and stuff, even through this, because it makes me happy. Like, it just makes me happy. I'm like, this is like something like I always wanted. Like, let me just go. But it's easier said than done sometimes. And I also have a really good husband, so it helps.
Yeah, I mean, we managed to, I don't know, we managed to not let it affect the kids. So
Yeah.
it's almost like it didn't happen,
And that's hard. I think it's like because I have you and you can give me space if I need space and stuff like that. Like it's been easier to deal with, but it can be hard. So as Dr. Drew said, there's medications out there if you are suffering from postpartum depression. Definitely use it if you need it. Dr. Drew said something to me too on the last episode where it was like, we don't want our kids to feel, what is it, responsible for our emotions or something like that,
Definitely.
And I was like, that also really resonated with me because it's like, because some people are like, you should let, it's okay to let them see you cry. But, for me, it's just like, I don't want her to feel any sort of like sadness or anything, or that she's responsible for it. Because even if you don't intend your kids to feel it, they'll still feel responsible for it,
I mean, like my parents didn't tell me anything, but I knew certain things that made me feel completely responsible for everything on my own.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, they just do it on their own. So you definitely don't want to even open the door to that.
Yeah. To not even say, oh, life before you, or, I felt this. It's like, I don't want them to know like anything, that they're just children.
Unfortunately, most parents trauma dump everything on their kids because they want the kids to identify with them and see their victimhood and see them as a victim. So, but yeah, let kids be kids.
Yeah. All the way.
Like, remember that you're the parent. You're not.
And even in the opposite direction too, I never want to be like I say in my vlogs, I'm like, oh my God, my children's changed me and saved me. But I never want them to feel that either, the heaviness of like, oh my God, we're like my mom's whole world. We better just like, stick around her and stuff like that. So I try and just keep it even keel, just like, we're all just in a family together. Because sometimes I can be so dramatic even in my vlogs where I'm just like, oh my God, like I don't know what I'd do without my kids. They're my whole world. Like never leave me. And then they'll have that too, like, oh shoot, can't leave mom. She's gonna be a wreck. So try to find that balance.
Dad will be here.
Yeah, I really hope you outlive me too, because I feel like I would be that mom that's like, your dad's not here. I don't know what to do. I would never do that because I know that too, but it's hard. Yeah. Love the kids. Shout out Malibu and Elvis. Did you see Eminem did the diss track on his kids?
No,
He did. He has a new song called Houdini, which is one of our names for boys out. And he did like a diss on his kids. But his kids were in it. They were like on FaceTime and stuff like that. I don't know. They're like, Eminem is the only one who can do that. Well, this has been so much fun. Getting to know you, getting to know everything about fatherhood. We talked a lot about fatherhood. Sorry if you watch this whole episode and we're not even. I love when people though like don't have kids and they watch it and they're like, I watch this whole episode even though I have like no kids. And I'm like, I kind of love that too, because I never did when I didn't have kids. I never watched anything about like family vloggers, but I like when people do. They're like, this pertains.
It's never
not
too
to me.
late. I mean, it's never too early to get ready and learn, and
That's true.
Or learn even about yourself and your parents. Kind of.
Yeah, like. That's the one thing about being a parent is like just understanding them better, forgiving them. Because there's so many people who have like, if this Father's Day, like, there's so many people who have bad relationships with their dads, no relationship with their dads. It seems like dads seem to be more absent in children's lives than moms in general. And I think it's just because they can, moms seem to. It is wild though. Like dads just leave one day. It is crazy when you think about that kind of stuff. It's like, moms can do that. Obviously they have, but you just never hear that as much as like dads just leaving.
Yeah, because physically they need to, if it's breastfeed or or they have the more of a maternal instinct and caring for the baby. Or
So if your dad wasn't in your life, it's just like sad. It just makes me all sad, the whole thing like that. But if you have a dad in your life, and for me, I know I like mended my relationship with my dad, and like it doesn't fix things always, but sometimes it's it's good to forgive
yeah, for your own sake.
for my own sake. I love Malibu with my dad, and yeah, just interesting. But shout out to all the parents out there of all types.
We know you do the best that you can.
For the most part, yeah. I think
No,
every parent.
everyone, they do the best
Yeah.
that they can, even if it's awful, but that's the best they could. Like, it's not.
That's a good thing to remember. It's like even if your dad left or something, it's like they probably
Well,
it wasn't
usually-
because of you,
No, parents don't leave the kids. They leave the other parent. Like,
or they just can't handle something. It's always like maybe mental or something. It's like I feel for those people too that just had to like leave. It's like and the kids suffer from it, which is sad. But it's not your fault if your children are divorced. It's not your fault, no matter what your parents tell you.
yeah,
And
break the cycle. You don't need to
break the cycle.
carry on their, the generational trauma.
Do you have any advice for fathers out there, new fathers, girl dads? Best piece of advice? Words of encouragement?
Stay calm. Trust the process.
Stay calm's a good one.
Don't get angry. Kids will do the one thing that will make you the most upset. So
Just try and push your
sometimes
buttons.
I bite my lip and I'm like,
Do you? I
get through
never
it.
see you.
the things that are simple, like one time I don't know, like my finger, I got hurt and it was, and
Ooh.
Malibu, like she will grab that one finger and pull me, and you're like, okay, like you don't,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
like I won't pull my hand back. I won't react even physically in a way that feels aggressive to her. Or, like I said, there's the one thing, I don't know, there's one piece of furniture that's white and they're going to take their messy hands and they're going to go there and they're going to like, get ready. Don't get upset. Don't get angry. Because it's their soul that is affected if you get angry. Don't lie to them because they know when you lie and that will destroy them. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, just
The stay calm, I think, is probably the best thing. I think my life would have been different if my dad would have been like calmer
like
talking to me.
priorities. Yeah, like what is,
Your calmness has healed me.
because it's like, there's objects around. Let them be destroyed and not your kid's spirit. There's,
Everything's replaceable. Everything's fixable.
yeah, and this is the time we're building their character, we're building their confidence, or we don't want to give them any, anxious feeling, and we don't want them to feel judged. We don't want to feel, just don't traumatize your kids.
Easier
early
said than
on.
done sometimes. Sometimes you don't even know. I'm excited for the daddy-daughter dances. I cannot wait. I think that's going to be so cute. And I love that you have two daughters the same age, so you'll probably be taking both of them. And I think that's like the cutest thing in the whole world.
Yeah, I've never seen one even, so.
It's cute. My dad took me to one. It was kind of iconic. I kind of live for it. I have to find that picture. I always see it. Those are fun. Those are cute. And
It's so funny. What age does it start?
I think early, like I think like 6 or so. It just depends too. Like those sometimes like if she goes to dance class at like 3, I've seen the ones where the dads go on stage with their daughters, which I think is like so funny and cute. And then the daddy-daughter dances, whether it's at church or like a country club or something, like those usually start at like 5, 6. And I think it's like so cute. Up until like they're teenagers too. I think they do it. And I think it's like so cute if they still want to do it. But they dress up. You get to buy them like a little corsage, and I think it's just so important. I don't know. It makes you feel special. I remember I felt special because like I got to wear a pretty dress. My dad got me a corsage. It's the only time I ever was taken to a dance. I never went to like homecoming or prom or anything. So I think it's like special.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's like making them feel special. Malibu will love Elvis too. They'll love it. They'll be like feeling like, I don't know. I just like even today watching you with them and the photos, like they just like melted my heart because they do just like gravitate you like Malibu because she's older, but she's just like, you could tell she just feels like special, and I don't know. It's pretty cute. I like seeing all of it. All right, you guys. Thank you to my husband, my father of my
wife,
children.
the mother of my children.
It's Father's Day. See, even Father's Day, he can't make it about him. He
I
always
can't.
is like,
You just gave birth. You just had a baby. And that makes me happy, and everything is good.
thanks, babe. It's been the best year ever so far, 2024.
Yeah.
Here's to more amazing years. I always think everything in our relationship every year keeps getting better and better and just more exciting and more fun. And
That's true, especially now with those two little girls that are.
they keep you up. I mean, our photo shoot today it was so funny. It was just funny to see Malibu in such a different way. And then Elvis was kind of crushing it too. She was kind of just
She was up for the whole thing.
chilling and she got some close-ups. And
Yeah, she was so chill about it.
I was surprised because she gets hungry a lot. So I just thought she was going to get hungrier more. But all right. Thanks, guys, for watching. We love you guys. We'll see you on the next Hot Topics where you can hear more of my husband's. You didn't do as many dad jokes today. I guess you're more serious in our interviews together.
Yeah, and it's also like, we're newborn, up all night, we're,
Right. Did you have your
Kinda like-
but you had your cappuccino.
a little bit, but yeah, we're mellow today.
Mellow.
Kids are sleeping.
Kids are sleeping. We had a big
Yeah.
photo shoot. We were
Yeah.
we were sweating. I was like, we need to get inside because I knew we were going to do this podcast. And I was like, I need to get inside because I am sweating.
So
And
this is another one of the episodes you can put on your sleeping playlist. If you want to fall asleep, this is the one to fall asleep to.
yeah, I like it. It's nice and calm because I was like a little like stressed out because I was like hot and then I couldn't cool down and then I was feeding Elvis before so then I was like I couldn't cool down from that. None of my dresses were fitting. This was giving too much cleavage. I was just like, okay, now I gotta go. I was a little stressed. This is kind of nice. A little
Yeah.
de-stressed, a little
Yeah.
unstressed.
We're done for the day. We're going to
Yay,
eat.
go eat.
fashion over. All good.
Not sponsored. But they sent us these beautiful flowers, so thank you for that. All right, we said bye 20 minutes ago. I love you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.